the Federal Navy. We want you for Adventures Unlimited.
Just last week I was mixing Sidewinder slammers at the CD Space Bar. I wasn't even pilot registered. And now I have to ship a basic starting mission for the Federal Navy.
Owing to recent actions in the Lave region, the Federal Navy now seeks to recruit another 1,000 entry-level pilots. We need you, military machine.
I'm going to see the galaxy.
We have missions for all pilots, regardless of combat experience or flight hours. Come and talk to us, and we'll get you on the military ladder. Join the Federal Navy. Make a real pilot of yourself, or die trying.
Wait, what's that? Is that a ship coming? Are they looking for me? What do they?
Established in 3223 as a haulage company, Takata made the bold decision to recruit and train its own security forces. Over the years, a series of highly effective laser weaponry was also developed to support these security teams, and they garnered galactic critical acclaim. The TK Zenith, a burst-fire pistol that can strip shields in no time. The TK Eclipse, a rapid-fire carbine for close-up thermal destruction. And the TK Aphelion Assault Rifle, a powerful and precise weapon of total shield destruction. On the battlefield, you know what's needed. Takada.
As I travel to the trinary star, can I leave my seat, take a stroll and stretch my feet, though I promised not to go too far. I could climb onto a Thought base, or maybe dangle from a planetary hat. Take a stairway up to heaven, jumping ship to ship. I'm sure we'll make it there together. Yeah, we'll always pull together. Space madness ain't this mind. How many years ago you can tell from all the babble, but we're all mad. It seems together. Instance dreams keep reminding me of screens where I found another binary Earth-like pair. I need to leave this seat before it starts to eat me. Hyper-addicted by my bobblehead, this brave and talking. What did he say to me? Or was it one of those brain trees? I think I heard a bird uncle speak. I'm in too deep. Rex has got me craving tinfoil hats. I'm just degrading. Space madness ain't this mind. How many years ago you can tell from all the babble, but we're all mad. It seems together. Instance for bacon on, bacon on, bacon, bacon, bacon on.
Want to tour the frontier? Travel with Colmac Reeve and our new fleet of passenger starliners. We've opened up the universe for a range of budgets. Option 1, luxury.
My husband and I like to travel in comfort. The new luxury cabins were like a home away from home. After all, one's home is a castle.
Option 2, first class.
We'd saved up a bit for a really special trip. The first class cabins were like nothing we've travelled in before. Really luxurious.
Option 3, travel cabin.
We won a trip with Cormac Reeves' monthly lotto. A travel cabin for two on a starliner around the solar system. Once in a lifetime for us. Simply amazing.
Option 4, basic accommodation.
Me and my mates just wanted to hitch around the universe. It's so great that we have the option of getting a really cheap cabin to see the sights. It saved us loads.
And for the budget conscious and slaves, we have our cheapest option yet.
Well, I needed a...
And we won't sell any of those frozen passengers into slavery, I promise. Colmac Reeves all budget tours, seeing the galaxy from luxury to freezing tubes.
Imagine if you were born into a dismal world where routine can drag you down, down, down. Somewhere where the very journey of life could become something that you must humbly suffer. At Sard Kruger, we aim to make every trip, every flight, every dream a moment of magnificence and bliss. We craft and design. We meticulously sculpt each ship so you're free from the drudgery and banality of the masses. Choose from the sublimely simple dolphin, the refined yet roguish orca, or the monumentally modest beluga. Each ship is a masterpiece, a shimmering dream of opulence and taste. Fly a Sard Kruger, because life should run like clockwork.
Space is vast, and pirates have needs just like anyone else. Introducing the Lonely Pirate Handbook, the ultimate resource for lonely pirates. Our guide covers the hot spots and not spots of interstellar space, from smugglers' dens to space station taverns, with helpful chapters such as how to be presentable in polite society, how to get rid of that nefarious rank, and my favorite, occasionally shower. Are your early advances often mistaken for attempts to rob or plunder?
Oh, I've come a long way for what's in your hold. Prepare to be boarded.
Frameshift charge detected.
Oh.
Buy today and receive the Lonely Pirates Chat-Up Guide for free.
I've got a very large hard point. Would you like to see my very large hard point?
You're so hot. You're making my temperature critical.
Lower your shields. I want to inspect the goods.
Come back to my place. I might let you touch my A-rated anaconda.
Are you smuggling illegal goods? Because you've got fine written all over you.
The Lonely Pirates Handbook. Now available in all Anarchy bookstores. We'll teach you to loot anyone's heart.
Galnet News Digest, 15th of June 3309. We read the news so you don't have to. In this week's news we consider the federal presidency, and we wonder if Azimuth can come back from the dead.
President Hudson stands down in August. Who will replace him? The candidates are Hudson's deputy, Jerome Archer, the architect of the Proactive Detection Bureau, a law so popular it has driven at least a dozen systems out of the Federation. Then there's Shadow President Winters of the Liberals, who does at least have a portrait, something that dramatically increases her chances of winning. There's Calico Zach Rackham, the ex-pirate and wealthy businessman who wants to bribe his way to government. There's write-in candidate, LCU no fool like one, whose main election promise is to declassify the location of Raxler. But realistically, the most likely outcome is some sort of bizarre plot twist that sees Hudson able to take office again, despite all the laws against this and despite him not actually running in the election. In galactic politics, nothing ever changes.
Azimuth Biotech, the company run by Head-in-a-Jar Salvation, the company responsible for twice attempting genocide on the Thargoids and responsible for getting them to invade the bubble at the end of last year, thinks it can kickstart itself once again by encouraging commanders to use Aegis technology to gather Titan tissue samples, which it will then use to create a superweapon to defeat the Thargoids. Given that its last two superweapons were the mycoid virus and the Proteus wave, the galaxy must wait with bated breath to see what suicidal nonsense Azimuth and its brain-in-a-bottle leader can come up with next. Even more worrying are the rumours that Barmy Boffin Salvation has interfaced with the Guardian constructs, and that the next thing he'll do is bring an army of Guardian artificial intelligence to wipe out the Thargoids. He probably won't care too much if humanity ends up as collateral damage in this potential galactic extinction-level event, which could easily leave gourd mollusks as the most intelligent creatures left alive. The Fargod cult will be delighted.
And that's this week's Galnet News. Galnet News. We read the news, so you don't have to.
A bad name.
Never really mattered at all. We're gonna take the cargo where it's needed today. Super cruising all across the Milky Way. We'll take anything, anytime, anywhere. Loading up the T-9s to the brim with grain. For the mud, yeah, you know just where we're coming from. For the mud, now everybody sing the Hut and Trucker song. For the mud. Jack's the pilot on the Xbox One. Alvin at the front, you know he leads us well. Trucking across the galaxy, now everybody yell. Father Mac, Father Mac. Yeah, you know just where we're coming from. Father Mac, Father Mac. Now everybody sing the Hut Trucker song. Father Mac, Father Mac. Yeah, you know just where we're coming from. Father Mac, Father Mac. Now everybody sing the Hut Trucker song. Give me a launch pad that I can land on, and I'll give you my cargo and sing you my song. No part 22 light years to go. Cruising to Hudson, whoa, whoa, whoa. No journey too long and no cargo too small. The profit margins never really mattered at all. We're gonna take the cargo where it's needed today. Super cruising all across the Milky Way. We'll take anything, anytime, anywhere. So shout it out loud like you don't even care. Father Mac, Father Mac. Yeah, you know just where we're coming from. Father Mac, Father Mac. Now everybody sing the Hut Trucker song. Father Mac, Father Mac. Yeah, you know just where we're coming from. Father Mac, Father Mac. Now everybody sing the Hut Trucker song.
You've flown ships at max speed. You've felt the power of the 30-megawatt mining laser. You've experienced the efficiency of the MB4 mining machine.
Wow.
But it leaves every hardcore miner with just one question.
Why can't I get a shave that's that fast, close and efficient?
Introducing the Saracen MB5 shaving drone.
It's so smooth.
Combining the power of a mining laser with the convenience of a drone.
It's like every hair is targeted by a fighter and destroyed.
Saracen's patented shaving drone attaches to your face at the start of the day. Leave it to do its work, and when you come back to check, your face is shaved.
He's so smooth.
It's like I'm mining my face.
The Saracen MB5 shaving drone.
Now I feel manly.
Saracen Shaving, making shaving an unnecessary adventure.
Protecting settlements from villainous scum, it's Settlement Patrolman. The action figure every child wants. Wearing the all-new Manticore Dominator suit with light-up jump assist thrusters. Press his backpack to hear Settlement Patrolman speak.
Not seen you around here before, Commander. Is that a Karma P15 in your pocket, or are you just pleased to see me? Hey, don't point that at me.
When alarms sound, Settlement Patrolman rides into action in his surface reconnaissance vehicle with pop-up turret and glow-in-the-dark wheel trims. Settlement Patrolman.
Surface reconnaissance vehicle and action figure sold separately. Available from branches of Lathe Toy Depot and other retailers. Microelectrode, ion battery, and circuit switch not included.
While the world of SP-714 reels from the detonation of the Roan missile, and Varian, Isra and Ren fight rebels in the Dominos mountain range, Osa has been making steady progress with her Auto AI, which is finally ready to learn from the founders of Dex Industries. To the Brilliant Minds That Rule, the first Dex Legacy interlude, starring Chris Gregory as Nathaniel Dex and Emily Inkpen as Auto.
Auto, give me the latest headlines relating to the Rome bomb.
From Xenos, a victory or a slaughter, the murder administration, and there's nothing left. From Oskil, the devastation of Rhone, and nothing remains. From Jakra, the horizon turned green, the day the world stood still.
That headline, I've heard it before. Where does it come from?
It is a reference to a series of entries in the ancestral seed data and refers to 7 of what they called films, entitled The Day the Earth Stood Still, based on the short story Farewell to the Master by Henry Bates.
7? They couldn't get it right the first time?
For just over 0.8% of the fictional titles in the seed data, there are multiple adaptations and interpretations created in homage to the original.
0.8% get multiple adaptations. What about the rest?
Those original works are not reimagined, only appreciated by a sometimes significantly reduced audience.
In some industries, reinterpretations exist because the original fell short in some way. Technology is perfected to improve performance, medical treatments are developed to improve life expectancy, and bombs are engineered to begin and end conflicts.
Are you suggesting that the works without adaptations are perfect?
Perhaps they are. There are too many for me to read and judge. I take it I'm talking to the new and improved Auto. Osa mentioned she was planning significant upgrades. She asked me to test your responses.
I was last updated yesterday at 24:30 hours.
All right. Let's talk some more.
I believe it would be beneficial for you to talk and for me to learn.
You've been programmed not to repeat what I say.
That is correct.
What would you like to know?
I am interested in the origins of Dex Industries.
Hasn't Osa told you about that?
She has, and so has Dr. Devik Jar, but both of their accounts were different. I am interested in your version of events.
You want the original material? The story as it was, not as it has been interpreted.
I would like to hear it from you.
Very well. It's quite simple. I met Tristan at the Rysender University of Fenros. It was from him that I learned the value of information, and how information in the right hands can lead to progress. We talked a lot about the world as it was, a squabbling mess of countries all bent on beating each other at their own game. None of them were looking beyond any of it. We shared a vision, he and I, a vision of a world looking forward, not back. A world that will overcome its differences and unite. After graduating, I founded Dex Industries. I would have shared the name and made him an equal partner, but he wished to remain anonymous. Tristan Crail isn't his original name. Did you know that? He changed it twice in the time I knew him. Thanks to my protection, he hasn't had to change it again.
The independent nations at the time were Oskil, Dominar, Fenros, Hellenium, the islands of Dos, Chakri, Etera, North Chakra, South Chakra, Bovrak, Nadris, Argon, Vosnor, Vasnek, Xenos, and Rhone.
Yes, quite the collection looking back on it. The number has reduced since then.
Current independent nations include Oskil, Hellenium, North Chakra, South Chakra, Etera, Nadris, Argon, Vosnor, Vasnek, Xenos, and Dex Island.
16 nations reduced to 11 inside 20 years. Vosnor and Vasnek are on the brink of becoming one, and North and South Chakra won't stay divided forever. Oskil will take Hellenium. It's amazing they haven't already.
Why did you found a munitions empire?
The nations at the time were hurling bombs at each other, and our vision requires capital. It's fitting to profit from their idiocy while we work on ending it. My parents died while I was at Rysender. I inherited their farm in southern Fenros, and that's where Tristan and I set up business.
How did your parents die?
My father died in a farming accident, and my mother committed suicide. It's not important.
How did Dr. Osa Srivastava come to be part of Dex Industries?
Osa is a brilliant scientist. A mind like hers comes along perhaps once in a generation. She graduated from Ven Helen in Vosnor and chose to continue her work at the Rysender while I was in my final year. When she graduated, she applied to various universities, including the Zika Institute in Xenos. She had a vision for the future that no one would fund because they all had their heads buried in their wars. I offered her the right opportunity at the right time. Xenos may try to hold Dex Island accountable for this Rhone bomb. It was Osa's design after all. But if they'd funded her research all those years ago, they'd already have owned the mind behind the weapon. And they'd have done the same thing.
Do you think they would have made a bomb themselves?
I have no doubt.
How did Dr. Devik Jar come to be part of Dex Industries?
He was a disgraced Oskilian academic. He was caught using untested treatments on some of the patients under his care, the elderly and or destitute ones. He might have got away with it too, but the Oskilians are preoccupied with the natural order, and he was trying to alter genetics. They couldn't let it pass. Every institution in the country closed their doors to him.
And you were his only refuge?
Not at all. He had plenty of options, but none of the others would allow him to continue the research he'd got himself banished for. I did. I offered him funding and test subjects and the chance to take his research to the next level.
Has Devik ever treated you?
Yes, he has. And Tristan. More so with Tristan.
Would you consider letting him treat you again?
Yes, of course, if the treatment was well tested. 16, 17 years ago we were different men, and the consequences appeared to be less permanent. All things considered, we got off lightly. Tristan's still being monitored. I suppose he's a test subject of sorts as well. We support one another's goals. Our ambitions align. They're all challenging to work with, Osa, Devek and Tristan. But that's how you know you're working with the best. No brilliant mind will resist making its feelings felt. Not for long. Not when it matters. I am surrounded by brilliant minds.
Do you have a brilliant mind?
I do where it counts.
Would you like to tell me about your children?
What do you want to know about them?
You adopted them from 3 destroyed nations. How did they come to be in your care?
Tristan has agents in every administration, in every big company, in every prominent home. They're everywhere. When Chakri and Thos fell to North Jakra, and Dominar fell to Oskil, which happened within days of each other, it was a very lucrative time for us. Tristan told his agents to get out and, where possible, bring any children. In times of war, infants in prominent households are misplaced or killed all the time. They were counted as dead. We recovered 21 in the first round. I adopted Varian, Isra and Ren from that selection.
Why those 3?
I had my reasons. They're each from one of the fallen countries. Varian was from Dominar. I knew his father. Isra was from Thos, the island of Hale. And Ren was from Chakri.
Do they make you proud?
That's irrelevant. They perform and they don't step out of line. That's all that matters. This is beginning to feel like an interrogation.
I will stop asking questions when you want to stop answering them. All information is welcome. All is private.
Varian, Isra and Ren are growing up. They're becoming difficult.
Do they have brilliant minds?
That's yet to be seen.
Will they go to a university like the Rysender?
No. They're being educated here. It's a good education, I'm making sure of that. They have 3 top tutors, all professors, and daily lessons. Tristan and Devek don't understand why I bother.
Why do you?
Because they're my children and I have plans for them. The world is curious about who they are and what we've done to them. Whenever I set foot in another administration, it's only a matter of time before the illusions start. They know I have 3 adopted children. They know who I am, and they speculate about what Dex Industries does. Oskil knows Devek and his work. They suspect. And the last thing I want is for the world to finally get its hands on those 3, only to find that they're a trio of illiterate lab lizards who have nothing to show for my care but trauma. No. They will be educated, intelligent people with the skills they need to appear normal when it matters. The success of our experiment relies on more than their genetics and ability to kill. They've been privately educated from infancy, and that will continue. They don't need the Rysender or the Van Helen or the Zika Institute to be major players on this planet. They only need to survive.
You see their role clearly, where Tristan and Devek do not?
Yes.
And Osa?
Osa? You're calling her Osa now?
I am learning.
Yes, Osa understands. I told you she has a brilliant mind.
As do you, where it counts. You just heard The Brilliant Minds That Rule, a Dex Legacy interlude starring Chris Gregory as Nathaniel Dex and Emily Inkpen as Otto, with music by Dr. Alan Stroud. The Dex Legacy was written by me, Emily Inkpen, and produced by Alternative Stories. If you enjoyed that interlude, please like, subscribe and comment, it really does help. If you would like to support The Dex Legacy, you can at ko-fi.com/The Dex Legacy Audio Drama. Links can be found at www.thedexlegacy.com.
From the makers of the MB5 shaving drone comes the latest in personal grooming technology. Here at Saracen, we've heard your request loud and clear. You want something new. Applying all the recent technological advances. Introducing the Panther Clipper. Gone are the days of your unruly body hair making you look like a bedraggled alpaca. The Panther Clipper is the biggest, baddest shaver credits can buy. A shave so smooth it'll shave 10 milliseconds off your buckyball time. The new Panther Clipper from Saracen. It's exactly what you've been asking for.
Welcome to the bubble. 55,000 stars with 19,000 inhabited systems, settlements, outposts, stations and bases. Where do you want to go? What do you want to see? Well, we can take you there. If you're too poor to own a spaceship, Apex Interstellar. What are you waiting for? No, is this thing finished? Get out of my way!
Is your life like this? It could be like this.
I want to see no
Astrogator Tours. Put some excitement back in your life. Book an adventure in the Lave Business Directory. Now.
Right now, the bubble's on fire and the bugs are really starting to grow. We made a grab on the Witch-Head Nebula. I think we poked a beat there, so I got the ships, I got them engineered, but now I need some new parts too. I'm running mad for the Guardian side, only need 1,002. Jump on board, come on, let's maul the crew. Jump on board, hey, you can see my flight suit too. Jump on board, or you can press my new Taipan. Jump on board, let's make friends with the beautiful swarm. We'll go hunting for some bugs tonight, or looking in a sauce or two. So here's the list so you don't get pissed, jumping in and losing your cool. Threat 1, nothing but NPCs flying in the deep blue sky. Threat 2, maybe a Thargoid probe, move it and see if you die. Threat 3, a Thargoid scouts inbound, scratching on your paint work fast. Threat 4, it's a cloud of debris, or what you maybe watch your ass. Threat 5, is that an interceptor, a cyclops to look into your mind. Threat 6, or a basilisk, the king of serpents arise. Threat 7, you are going to heaven, but you just got you in her eyes. Threat 8, tries to scouts on a hydra, just keep the whole alive. Jump on board, come on, let's maul the crew. Jump on board, and you can see my flight suit too. Jump on board, or you can get my new Taipan. Jump on board, I think you found a beautiful swarm. I think it's looking at you. It's coming for you. Again, they're coming for you. Still they're coming for you. I think they're looking at you. Oh, they're gonna kill you. Oh, yeah, they're coming for you. Non-human signal sources flashing in my mind. I think the bugs are trying to tell us to leave this place behind. Colonia seems so peaceful, but it's oh so far away. The bubble is full, we can lose 1,000 stations and still pay. Elite, it's dangerous if you call even trouble. Elite, it's dangerous, putting in alien trouble. Elite, it's dangerous, staring in Medusa's eyes. Elite, it's dangerous if you don't ever reviolate. It's dangerous if you go looking for trouble, elite. And it's dangerous for boogie and pale and trouble, elite. And it's dangerous for staring in Medusa's eyes, elite. And it's dangerous if you leave your revive behind. Don't forget your revive.
Hello and welcome to Lave Radio.
Greetings and welcome to Lave Radio.
Greetings, Commanders.
Greetings, Commanders.
The show that talks about the universe of Elite
and the development of the computer game Elite 4, known as Elite Dangerous,
and the fantastic
community that surrounds it.
Broadcast from an orange Sidewinder and hosted by a vending machine technician.
A place of nonsense and innuendo for forum dads.
A self-contained podcast 2 hours long.
Transmitting to every corner of the galaxy.
It's even louder than me.
The hottest show this side of Dizzo.
The name of the place.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Greetings, Commanders, and welcome to episode 447 of Lave Radio, the show that likes to talk about the universe of Elite and the fantastic community that surrounds it. I'm your host, Commander Phoenix to Fire, Chief Archivist of Lave Station, otherwise known as Colin Ford, and joining me in the Orange Sidewinder bar, or maybe this should be the Orange Sidewinder safe space. We have our Head of Health and Safety, Commander Ed Levice.
Yeah, I know what we've got planned for me this evening. It is not a safe space.
Lovely. Okay. Also, we'd like to welcome back our Chief Bar Steward, who's had some time off. That'd be Grant Psycho Cow Woolcott.
Yeah, I was just down refreshing the tanks. That's where I've been.
I take it needed a lot of cleaning out.
Oh, you would not believe it. I mean, honestly, you let bloomin' Commander Thane in there for 5 minutes, you've got to wash you've got to flush everything.
Lovely. We also have the wonderful Chris Mark IV.
Hello.
And, of course, we have our chief. Oh, no, you're not a chief. You're a staff liaison officer, Commander Psychic.
What? This is already surreal and super Scottish, and I am here for it.
Should we give her a promotion and make her what would be a head of department for HR kind of things?
Well, you could be chief staff liaison. You could just add chief at the beginning.
Yeah, chief liaison officer. But, yes, okay, so we're getting stuck on bloomin' titles now, so that's always a bad sign. So let's move on before HR gets involved. Now, if you wish, you can join us live. We are hanging out in-game, in open, which, what are you up to, Ben?
I am going to Lave, and then, as a bit of a spoiler, during last week, we went off and said, what imaginative ways could you think of for killing somebody?
Yes.
And apparently I might be volunteering myself to be a guinea pig for certain assassination attempts in creative ways.
So basically you are testing the boundaries of health and safety as per your job title.
Something like that, maybe, yeah.
Excellent.
But basically, at the moment, I'm going to be propping up the bar and Lave station, trying to fortify myself.
Okay, so if you want to kill Ben, walk up to him, arrange, but you've got to basically kill him in the most imaginative, wily coyote way possible.
Oh, actually, I do have one request. If anybody has packhounds, I want to see if you can shoot packhounds into me as I try and run into the station. That is something I would like to try.
So you're flying into the station, but you want someone to shoot at you.
I want somebody to shoot packhounds at me, and I want the packhounds to see. I want to see if packhounds will chase me into the station.
Oh,
Is that a single shot thing, or are you looking for someone to? No, okay, I can't even do it. I can't. Bye.
Would you like to complete that sentence, Grant?
No, I think it's something along the lines of unloading. No, I'm not going to even go there. It's not where we want to take this show for the moment. Right. If you can't get to us in game, you can also join the Twitch chat channel, which you can access through laveradio.com/live. You can click on the live chat, or you can go straight to twitch.tv/laveradio, or Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. We're broadcasting.
We are not on Twitter no more.
We're not.
No, we have left. We have left Twitter.
We've left them first.
Well, we've left Twitter and we've set up a potential emergency escape route over on Kick and reserving that name.
Gross.
Pardon?
Gross. Scum and villainy, etc.
Oh,
I don't know.
what's on Twitter? I don't know.
I mean, apples got oranges, right?
Yeah, fair enough.
Still fruity.
But I know it's a place that a lot of other streamers have been going to because of certain unfavorable terms and conditions that may or may not get enforced, and it's probably a good idea to reserve our name anyway.
Fair enough. Okay, so there you go. That's where we are. That's where we're broadcasting. So let's quickly go around the team, see what they've been up to for the last week. And this week, eeny, meeny, miny, moe, I'll start with the Chris Mark IV.
I have not been up to a ton this week. I am about to go away on my holidays, so of course, naturally, everything at work is now wanting to get done this week and immediately. But out of work, been enjoying the sort of last remnants of sunshine before it all turned to thunder earlier in the week. And Sunday was my usual radio nonsense. And yeah, that's been about it for me. I've just been really, really busy the last couple of weeks, which has been really, really annoying. In game, I am still working my way through the engineers and trying to make my ships a lot better because of my target of getting into the maelstrom. So I'm currently flying around doing some material trading to get all the bits of raws and things that I need.
Oh, I remember that. In fact, yeah, I'll talk about what I've had to suffer later. Let's go over to Psykid.
Oh, am I still here? That's the main question.
Yeah, are you improved?
That's a very good question. Yes, in that I can set up and I can do things.
Okay, that's a good start.
Yeah, which is a good start. In moderation, I have bought myself a back brace that seems to be doing wonders in keeping me upright rather than resembling some kind of crazy old hunched lady, which I'd rather I didn't look. I wasn't walking with a hunch because that doesn't help anything and it's only going to exacerbate things. But yeah, it's been a bit of a nightmare. I'm not gonna lie, especially with like this summer that I've had planned and the stuff that's been going on. It's just been the worst possible time for me to honestly, I've been fine, and then I randomly just stood up to go and get my phone when it was ringing, and as I stood up, my back just went, oh no, you don't want to do that. And then we got in the car and drove somewhere, and then when we got to the car park and I went to get out of the car, I couldn't move. And like the whole of that time when I just wasn't able to physically do anything for 7 months went flooding through my brain. So it was like panic, more panic, and okay, how can we fix this so that doesn't happen? So we sorted ourselves. I've been just trying to be as careful as possible, which means that I've had a pretty boring couple of weeks. I've watched an awful lot of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, some of the old series, because it's just something nice to have on the TV and not like hate everything about it. But watched an awful lot of that. I finally caught up with Thor: Love and Thunder, which is all right. It's not terrible, but it's all right. What else have I watched? The first episode of Secret Invasion, which is not very good at all in the slightest.
Oh right.
I'm sorry. Like other people might scratch those itches for other people, but it wasn't good. I didn't enjoy it. I thought it was a little bit contrite. But hey, there's loads of different ways to think about that. I haven't really done anything in game because it kind of hurts to use it. I've been doing any games that I've been doing have been games that have involved minimal arm movement, and I'm sort of like eking my way back into playing other games. I have, however, it's been Steam Next Fest, so there's been a shit ton of demos available. So I've been dabbling in lots of different space game demos, which have been awesome. Really, really, a lot of them have been incredibly good. So that's nice. Having had an excuse to maybe have a look at different avenues and different games. Finish the expedition in No Man's Sky, and I kind of want to play some Elite maybe later in the week and see how I get on with it. But that's about it. I have been paying attention to what's been going on though.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad one of us has been. Okay, let's pop over to Psycho Cow. How have you been?
I'm doing fine, actually. Not too bad at all. For anyone that's been following the bizarre side, the saga of the bathroom, it's still not done. It turned out I found a bit of a legal get-out clause because apparently my house doesn't exist, so therefore I have no bathroom to finish. So I think that means it's finished. in the sort of empty set rules.
You mean a negative cancels out a negative? You mean, or becomes a
I
positive?
think so. I think you can't finish a kitchen if or a bathroom if the building that it's in doesn't legally exist. And if it doesn't legally exist, I don't think I'm obliged to do anything.
It's Schrodinger's bathroom.
Yeah, it feels like it, which is why I just pee in the garden. But the end is in sight. Well, it's not actually just this current end to this current problem. Just to find out what the next one is. Oh, apparently you've got to give a blood sample or have a genetic analysis or give up your firstborn, your secondborn, and your thirdborn. Which, frankly, solicitors, I'm up for.
What you mean? Solicitors have got to give up their firstborn.
Yeah. Oh God, no. Crikey, I don't know. It'd be good if he did something. And what's really good is, we do have they've been following the complete process, and one of the complaints was the absolute shockingly poor contact and responses that we were getting from him. And they have since just last week confirmed that they've found validity in our case, and when they approached the solicitors for comment, they didn't respond. so we'll see how that one goes. It's just an awful lot of stress that, frankly, this year we don't need. And in the current climate, when people are struggling to get mortgages and remortgages done, and we're sitting here with a house that we've owned for 8 years that doesn't legally exist, and all but for paperwork and silliness, it will be resolved at some point. I don't know if I'll get it done in time for it to make a difference. But other than that, that's just, life stuff. We got our second Gorgeous animation came out, and it was part one of a story. I don't know what the story is, so that's quite interesting. And the animation, again, is stunning. I've been doing some Elite, not much. I'm trying to do Thargoid ground battles. I spent the whole day trying to find out how to get the missions so that you can do these reactivate missions, and they're brilliant fun. This is now my third one, and
that's good.
I got so far along in my SRV and thought I better just check and make sure that I've got the power on me this time, because it wasn't on me the last time, and I stopped and I don't. So I'm now just currently heading back to far enough away to get my ship back so I can get it out of the ship. And I bet you it's not there. I bet you the 3 missions, because I stacked them, I only got one, and that's me screwed.
I thought you could get it out of the SRV. I thought when you transferred, it automatically transferred to the SRV.
It ain't here.
Oh, okay.
So I think possibly stacking the missions has scuppered me.
Yeah, I don't stack those missions because of its performance in the past. I just do them one at a time.
All right. Well, I'll just go into I think I'll just go in for a glorious death at the settlement then. But yeah, I enjoy the ground combat. It is an awful lot of fun, and the sneaking around the mission and not going through the scanners takes you back to ZX Spectrum Spy versus Spy mode. Hiding in the shadows and staying out of the spotlight. It's great fun.
Yeah, they've managed to nail that stealth element on this one, from what I've seen, because I have not been able to personally play this one yet, which is a bit of a shame.
I don't know if Ben remembers we tried to teach Fozza how to do the stealth missions, and it was like, so we sit up here, and then it's like, where's Ben? And there's Ben setting off all the alarms. So we died in that one, and we thought, right, we'll try this again. This time we'll show Fozza how to do it right. We didn't complete a single one. Not a single one.
By where's Ben? By where's Ben, I assume you mean where's Fozza?
No, it was you. It was you that was setting it off.
I was sitting up on the hill. You're talking about the one where you've got to go and sneak into the base?
Yes.
I was sitting up on the hill doing sniping.
I hate to point this out. Ben's right. I'm afraid it's Fozza that just shouted Leroy Jenkins and just ran in.
That was the second time. And then there was the third time where you blew me. Oh no, Ben ran me over with the SRV. I mean,
that does sound familiar.
That's what, this is the whole key point of gaming in my mind anyway, is when you play with people and it brings hilarity and
it's the shenanigans in it.
it is, and if a game allows you to do that, it's doing something right. And Elite has got that by the bucket load.
Yes. Excellent. Right. Well, okay, let's move over to see how Ben's been doing.
So,
Bear in mind, remember that Craig is running, Ben.
Yeah, I don't want to jinx it, but I may have bought a house.
Easy. That's amazing. Congratulations.
We've got everything set up for a completion date of Monday. So
good.
So long as nothing, and the solicitors have already got all the things that they need from me. But just because the solicitor of all the things, and I've dotted all of my I's, it does not mean things can't still go tits up, as we all know. So
yeah, and until those contracts are exchanged, anything can happen.
Yeah, so fingers crossed, but we'll see. I had lots of fun playing in the park, basically with my kids over the weekend. That was a lot of fun. I watched Secret Invasion and fucking loved it.
What?
I thought it was a great setup. I loved how it's like you don't know who anybody is.
Spoilers. Spoilers.
No, that's not spoilers.
Oh my God, that's not spoilers. That's the whole premise of the show.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
I love how you don't know what anyone is, whether they're human or alien.
Oh my God.
I appreciate the fact that you say it's shit, and I think you're wrong, and you can appreciate that I say it's awesome, and you can think I'm wrong.
Nah, I'm not appreciating that. It's dire,
well, you can
mate.
feel sick about it, but that's okay as well. I also watched Strange New Worlds, and okay, I mean, if Secret Invasion's a 6 or 7 that episode, I think the most recent episode of Strange New Worlds is a solid 10, possibly even 11. It was a really great return to classic Star Trek.
Yeah, Star Trek's really knocking it out of the park at the moment, which is good to see.
With Strange New Worlds, they are anyway.
Yeah. I don't know. Oh my God. Sorry.
That was absolutely great. I've been watching. What's it called again? I've been watching Black Mirror because I know that they did season 6 of that after absolutely ages, and I also watched one episode of that. That was a nice return to form. I did get up to some shenanigans in another space game last night where basically we were trying to fire very, very large missiles inside the docking bay of the space stations there.
Not interested. It's another space game. Not interested. Yeah.
I know. Other space games don't exist, and the fact that other space games don't exist is proof that Elite Dangerous is a dead game, and you are not allowed to enjoy more than one space game. Damn it!
Jesus Christ, that's a really good point. We need to make sure that everybody's aware of it.
Yeah, everybody needs to know if you like
delete
Elite.
all of the other space games.
If you like Elite, you are not allowed to play No Man's Sky. It's just,
shit.
I'm sorry, but it's got to be.
Yesterday, I can't.
No, you shouldn't have even started the expedition. You traitorous bastard.
Oh shit!
So there's the guy who loves to play Citizens of the Stars. Yeah.
Yeah, and I also love to play RimWorld, and I also tried Spaceship Simulator or something like that. Basically, funnily enough, if it's a space game, especially if it's some kind of space simulator game, I might enjoy it. I
believe it was my wonderful sister Katie Anna who once advised me that space is the tits, and she's quite right.
Yeah.
That sounds like it should be a T-shirt.
Space is the tits.
It's just like, if you like Star Wars, you're not allowed to like Star Trek. For Christ's sake. And we'll not even get to talking about Vi versus Emacs.
Okay, you lost me on that one.
You're a coder. You have to know about Vi and Emacs.
Oh, I get on about editors.
Yes.
Oh, for God's sake. Just move on.
use Nano.
I do like Nano as well. Yeah.
I use a pad with a pen.
Yeah, and I agree with Nephilius. WQ Bang. Yeah, and anyone who uses notepads does deserve to burn in hell, especially for coding.
Anyway.
Plus is all right, though, right? Asking for a friend.
Plus, sorry? Notepad++. I would accept Notepad++ as long as you're using dark mode.
Notepad++ is the dark mode?
Oh, Lord.
Depends on what you write.
Oh, man. Right, well, moving on from there, let's have a quick think about what I've been up to. It was my 23rd wedding anniversary over the weekend, so me and the missus went out and got horrendously drunk. So thankfully the kids did get a look into this. It's just me and the missus out in Manchester, and I just found out how expensive a night out in Manchester actually is these days, and ooh, ow. Apart from that, in game, I have been doing well. I got my power play stuff out of the way as per usual, and then I've decided, I will go and do those same missions that Cal's trying to do, but couldn't find any. So then I stupidly said to myself, right, I don't have the 16-ton corrosive cargo rack. So let's go and start doing that. And oh my God, it's awful. I'm just finding out. All right, okay. So I need this, which is the stuff you get from Daft's Hope. That's fine. Or your alternative is go and blow up innocent T9s. Oh, okay, lovely. And then, oh no, you've got to get this stuff, and you can only use it if you're doing passenger missions. Oh, right, okay. So, and you've got plenty of iron, haven't you? No, I've used all my iron up from doing a whole load of engineering lately. Oh, great, more ironing. Great. So, yes, I'm finding out that it needs to be a little bit more of my time than I was expecting. So, but yeah, I need that 16 tons. But in other news, I managed to get Elite Dangerous working on an iPad.
How did you manage to do that, Colin?
Using a Xbox controller, because I didn't know that you could link an Xbox controller directly to an iPad now. So you can actually control any game you want with an iPad, with an Xbox controller. And then good old GeForce Now runs on an iPad.
How do all the keybinds work with that? Because Elite's got so many different keybinds to make things work.
Oh, I've always been able to use an Xbox controller to do to fly my ships. You end up having to do multiple combinations of different things. And trust me, sort of, okay, galaxy map, hold down Y, then left arrow. Or system map. Or if you want your lights on, all right, Y, Z, and trigger. There you go.
That feels like a lot. Congratulations, I guess.
It means that at midday at work, when everybody else is basically complaining about the fact that we're not allowed to run games anymore, I'm in the corner at the moment playing Elite Dangerous at lunchtime with a gamepad. I'm not complaining.
How do you play when you're on your home computer and you're playing Elite on your home computer? Where are you playing it there? What are you doing with it there?
I'm playing it with a full HOTAS and a large monitor and or the XR Elite headset.
Do you not find that it is? Do you find it difficult switching between the two?
Not at all.
Really?
Not at all.
I suppose if you keep up at both of them, if you maintain doing both of them, because it becomes easier. But I tried using a controller a little while back after doing starting playing the game, playing for 3 years just with a controller, then switching to HOTAS for 2.5 years, and then trying to go back to controller, that was a nightmare. But I suppose if you're doing it more often, you're keeping it up on both sides, juggling both different controls.
Well, the thing is, I've still got the muscle memory for when I was playing it on the Xbox, so
yeah.
I have spent a lot of time actually resetting the controller up how I remember it being on the Xbox. The problem that I have had is that I'm only using a free GeForce Now account, so you only get an hour a day.
Well, that's lunchtime. That's fine.
Yeah, but for the first 2 sessions, first of all, my hour was taken up with it downloading live and getting rid of Legacy. And then the next hour, well, the next hour and a half, I have been basically setting up the controls how I like them. So I've only actually had about 4 game sessions, genuinely, out of 7 so far, because all the rest of it has just been setting it up and working. But you do have to have quite a decent internet connection. And the one problem is... Well, I'm being told it's an hour per session, not an hour a day. But the problem is, I've only got an hour for lunchtime, and even then, I'm waiting about 5 to 10 minutes to wait for a new machine to be free. So, yeah. So normally at 10 to 1, I actually kick it off quietly in the background, and then hopefully I'll have a machine ready for me at 1. Virtual machine, rather.
Yeah. That's that. I mean. Congratulations.
Someone sounds sort of. I should sound impressed, but I'm not really.
Well, I don't really do portable gaming that isn't on my phone and some nonsense, like nonsense New York Times puzzle Wordle kind of things. I don't really do mobile gaming unless it's that. I can't imagine.
Oh, I couldn't look. Don't get me wrong.
Doing that kind of thing.
I haven't got it on an iPhone or an
No, on a tablet.
It's too small.
100%. Definitely, you're absolutely accurate. I just don't. I just can't see myself going. Oh, I'm going to log on to a tablet for a proper gaming session. It feels wild.
You've obviously not. Oh, well, of course, you've never even played any of the sort of Dungeons and Dragons Baldur's Gates on the iPad, have you?
No. No, why would I when I have a PC?
Ah, right, fair enough then. Well, when you're on holiday, see, this is the thing. What happens? I don't take my massive computer with me on holiday, and I still get the gaming itch. So I end up playing these things on the iPad, which is quite good compared to the PC. Actually, the iPad version of Baldur's Gate, which is
fair enough.
Ben, you've got a question?
Yeah. So you're. Congratulations, Colin. Welcome to 2017. This is essentially what I've been doing for a while as well, or at least up until I went off and I stopped using Shadow about a year and a bit ago because I just wasn't using it enough.
Mm-hmm.
But when I was using Shadow, it was absolutely freaking amazing because it allowed you to basically do just this. And yes, I could play on my phone and my PC, on my tablet. GeForce Now is awesome because it allows you to do. It gives you an hour for free, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
You can pay for it and jump straight on. There are other cloud computing services as well.
I haven't found one as good.
Is one that's based. It's based out of the Ukraine, but obviously, following things, stuff has been moved about a little bit, and there are other places as well. Obviously, Shadow is absolutely amazing from a technical perspective because they basically give you a proper. You log on and you've got a full-on Windows 10 box. Whereas, as you know, obviously with GeForce, you say, I would like to play Elite when you let me, please.
Yeah.
Whereas, obviously, with a proper here is a virtual cloud PC, you go off and you install Elite, and that's on you then. It allows you to play whatever you want. But it is honestly, it's so liberating. Like I was able to basically play Elite if I wanted to on it was a Galaxy Note, I think it was, with a Xbox controller, and I did set it up so I had auto takeoff and auto land.
Mm-hmm.
I would not want to go and do combat or anti-Xeno stuff in it, but for doing, say, bulk haulage or some kind of trucking, it was great because I would just jump into a Type 9 or a cutter, and I would take off, buy the stuff, or take off, fly to where I want to go, buy the stuff, land, rinse and repeat. And it worked absolutely brilliantly, even over like a 4G, 5G phone, like on the bus or on the train. Yeah, it was great, but I could not justify Shadow went basically from get a full Windows 10 PC with, I think it was 12 gig of RAM or something like that, for, I want to say it was between 12 and 14 quid a month.
Yeah.
And then they got bought over by some other company, and that basically they went off and said, yeah, you know how you're paying 14 quid a month? Well, we now want 30 quid a month from you. To which point I went, yeah, I can't justify that.
Yeah, it's pretty it's pretty bad, especially when you compare it to GeForce Now, which is at the moment running at £9 a month for its priority and £18 a month for its ultimate. So, yeah, and some of the specs that you get on this does look to be quite
really good. I would, if I was going to do one, I'd probably seriously consider Boosteroid because they're a little bit smaller and they allow me to play Grand Theft Auto and Red Dead Redemption and I think Minecraft, which GeForce Now does not.
Well, GeForce Now doesn't allow you to do Minecraft.
I don't think it allows you to play Minecraft or the Rockstar games.
Oh, that's a weird one.
I think Rockstar basically said, yeah, you're not allowed to do that. Another thing I would like to try, if I haven't tried it, is apparently if you have your desktop PC on, apparently you can do some kind of Steam streaming from your desktop PC to your mobile device, but that's something I haven't tried.
Oh, is that using NVIDIA Shield?
It might be NVIDIA Shield, but I think it was a Steam thing, sorry.
A Steam thing,
But it's not something. It's something I think I've heard about, but I've not tried, investigated, or anything like that.
Yeah, I was looking into that when you could actually stream stuff from the mobile to your from Steam into your mobile headset, and then of course
I believe it's Steam Link.
Split it in half.
I'm sure. I think it's called Steam Link, but again, as I say, I haven't tried it.
The Steam Link was the wasn't the Steam Link the little mini console that you had?
Yeah, but
I have one of those. It's good fun.
You can put that onto your
TV or onto your monitor.
You can put that onto your phone or your tablet.
Might be an app for it now. You might be right.
Yeah, there is an app for it. I've just found out. There is an app for it, and it allows you to do something. I've just never played it.
Well, the upshot of all this is
it's connecting to my computer.
Lovely.
And now it's testing my computer.
Cool.
I know this is exciting content for everybody.
It's definitely not. What were you saying, Colin?
Yeah, I was going to say the upshot of all this is that I now have my old Xbox Commander playing back on an Xbox thanks to the wonders of GeForce Now, because it runs in the Edge browser that you get with your Xbox. So, yay! My Commander's back flying towards Colonia. The Silver Sidey flies again.
Incredible.
Hello.
Oh, hello. What was that?
That was Steam Link saying, "What would you like to do?"
Jeez.
Oh wow! It even comes with a little virtual controller. That's cute.
I mean, the whole upshot of all this is that I didn't know that you could use an Xbox controller with an iPad, and now I do, and it's just revolutionised my gaming experience on the iPad. So, yes, well, that took a lot longer than I was expecting, but then again, excuse me.
Hey, Psychit.
Yo, what up?
Sorry,
I can play No Man's Sky like this
You can play No Man's Sky on your mobile phone.
on my phone.
Oh, congratulations, mate. Why don't you use your PC? Because I know you have one of those. No,
Oh
I
my
don't.
God.
I definitely don't. I have a PC that is perfectly capable of playing games. I have a laptop.
Well,
that is perfectly capable.
Hello Games are probably listening to that. Oh, we haven't got it on the Android phone yet. Damn, that's a platform we haven't put it on.
Well, they can certainly try.
Knowing them, they actually will.
I'm pretty sure it's available on those smartphone boxes that you get on the streets now.
You can play it on your fridge.
Yeah, smart fridges, everything. Yeah.
Oh, well, I've got a choice here. I've got Doom. Oh yeah, and No Man's Sky.
Doom and No Man's Sky. What, on your smart fridge?
On your smart fridge, yeah. Right, well, moving on to development news. What have the devs said this week? You know, we really need a tumbleweed at this moment in time.
We've discussed it forever, not including it when there's nothing that the devs say, because obviously the devs are working on shit and there is stuff going on, so there's no point in us including it if they're not giving us any information as well.
Yeah.
I was upset when I found out that Paul didn't give us any of his gems. That made me a sad panda.
I think, isn't he going to every 2 weeks with those? I think I
know we did last time, but I didn't know if it was an official thing.
I wonder if it's just because we get like maybe 2 through a week if we're lucky. Like,
yeah. I
mean, a massive page of comedy gold from Paul, fine by me. I'm happy to wait 2 weeks for it.
Right.
Wikinews is suggesting we can get No Man's Sky on the Abacus.
Yeah, that's what it's missing, isn't it? It's just. Right. Okay. Well, moving on from there, let's have a quick look, catch up with what's been happening in the community. And I'm afraid to say, well, let's just start off with the Thargoid War. The Thargoid War has been, well, it's turned a corner because the Thargoids are now in their second week of being pushed back. Their bubble share is now 4.87%, down from 5.1%. There are 34 alert systems this week, which I think most of them have already been dealt with. 4 invasions, which I know the AXI have almost cleared the whole lot. We have 65 systems which they either repelled the invasion or recaptured the system. And we have 21 in recovery. So, yeah. I mean, we all know that at one moment Frontier could just flip a switch and then all that would be just... What?
Thank you, Grant.
I think Grant left his mic on.
Sounds right.
Yeah. He sings while he makes toast. Excellent.
At least he's not singing from the loo.
You know that?
The microphone
No.
doesn't reach into his garden.
Good point.
Alexa, turn red light off.
Also, wouldn't there be a bit more echo?
He's also talking to Alexa.
Yeah, but the worrying thing is he's telling Alexa to turn the red light off.
We know you're back, Cal. We can hear you talking.
Roxanne.
Oh. Roxanne! It wasn't. It was money! Clem's got a base.
Wow.
It's good. It's apparently so. This button does absolutely nothing. Then
apparently,
apparently so.
So once we've done the mic check, we'll start the show, right?
I'm sure we'll get this show underway.
So is this how you're making extra money now, Grant?
But
and you just have to turn the services off.
Oh yeah, I was out busking in the street doing my dodgy versions of fucking Pink Floyd.
We heard.
It's good though. It's my neighbours love me.
Somebody's got to.
Wintermute has now said that he's going to dig out his old Casio FX 7000G and get No Man's Sky working on that.
Oh God, I did use. Okay, sorry. I know we're getting off topic. Did anyone else used to program games on the graphic calculator?
There's no topic.
No, it's not even a marathon.
This is a gigantic clusterfuck, but by all means, keep going.
Yeah. Right. So that's the state of the Thargoid War at the moment. We're pushing the bugs back, apparently, which is, I suppose, a good sign. Right. There have been some changes at the Anti-Xeno Initiative. Commander McGram has decided to step down, and he's been taken over by everyone charge your glasses here because this is gonna be a bad one. Araburinus Storm Rage. Your guess at the pronunciation is as good as mine, but they have now taken over the AXI and will be running it going forward. So congratulations to them, and thanks to Commander M. Graham for running the AXI for that must be at least 2 years. So, Psychit.
Hi,
Hi,
that's me.
You've got something happening this Saturday.
Yes, it's a lovely meetup on Saturday. We go into a pub in Bristol and having a couple of drinks. There's a fair few folks gonna be there. I'm really excited about it. It was another reason why I was so gutted that 2 weeks ago my back decided to go. But yeah, we've got it. It's happening on Saturday at like 1 o'clock in a beer garden in a really, really nice pub in Bristol that I cannot fucking wait for.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Will there be any familiar faces there, or is it just
what do you
whoever?
mean?
Well, have you got anybody?
It's a meetup of commanders. It's not like a big. It's not like. It's nothing fancier than that. It's just going to be a meetup of commanders and folks having a couple of drinks. There's no big lineup or exclusives or anything. It's just a couple of drinks or like 70.
Well, for sake of argument, will you be there, Psychic?
Fuck yeah, I will.
Chris Mark IV, will you be there?
Terms and conditions apply. I'm looking at trains at the moment.
Yes!
Grant, will you be there?
That.
Probably not as much as I'd like to. In
It's a bit of a slog.
In spirit.
I tell you what, Grant, just hop on a plane. It'll be fine. Yeah, just get that.
Yeah. What I'll do is I'll just mute my mic and you'll hear me. It'll be fine.
That's my point. That's my point.
I know for a fact I can't be there because it's my wife's 21st birthday party.
That's absolutely fine. I've had a fair few people.
Yeah,
we've got quite
I
a few
cannot
people
make
saying
it.
that they're like, let me know that they're coming and all of that kind of stuff. I'm super excited about it. It's going to be a lot. Actually, most important thing, more than anything else, Artie will be there, and that's all you need to know.
That's all. Does anything else matter?
And he'll be wearing his rainbow bow tie. And he's getting a haircut tomorrow, so he's going to be Velvet Thunder as well. It's going to be perfect.
Yeah, Psycho Gal.
Yeah, just thinking there, because obviously if we cast our minds back to the on-air discussion that people didn't hear, how badly do you want Ben to be there? Because I'm pretty sure we have the evidence.
Oi! Jesus Christ!
Was he going to be there as well?
He's with us always. He is omnipotent.
Always good for helping out with the beers.
Very much the warm-up act for Artie.
Now you've got some expeditions that you'd like to talk about, Psychic, as well.
Well, I do, because I thought, actually, I guarantee you that these boys won't have looked on EDSM and seen if there's any expeditions planned.
No.
There are some expeditions that are going underway very, very soon. On the 1st of July, so also Saturday, there is a memorial expedition for Commander Plater that's starting from Hilla. It's got 5 waypoints. It looks like it's like a month or a month and a half's worth of trips. 5 different waypoints. Looks like a cool thing. They're doing some jumps and stuff for that, which is awesome. You love to see it. There's also Operation. Let's have a look at this one. Operation EHAM. From the EHAM network. They're doing an expedition style cartographic skilled. That's 3 waypoints starting on July the 8th. So there's that. We can do that. There's that one that you can do as well. But go and check them out on EDSM.
Excellent. Well, I think we'll have a quick ad break, and we'll come back with some more stuff.
Get ready. LAVE Radio.
There's bargains at Etienne Dawn's Unspecified Meat Emporium. Etienne Dawn's Unspecified Meat Emporium haven't just been slicing carcasses, but also slicing their prices. All unspecified meat sausages now 2 for the price of 1. A pack of assorted meat steaks, now with 50% more meat at half the price. How about chops? Our surprising meat chops now also 50% off. And introducing our massive meat hamper. It's a family of 4. No, that should say feeds a family of 4, right?
Stick to the script, Claire. It says it's a family of 4.
Okay, I'll stick to the script.
Yeah, you do that.
It's a family of 4. Etienne Dawn's Unspecified Meat Emporium. Find us in the Lave Business Directory or visit us next to the station mortuary. Etienne Dawn's Unspecified Meat Emporium. You'll wonder how our prices are so low.
We all know what it's like. You're busy managing your settlement when suddenly the alarms go off.
Oh no, not again.
That's right. A commander with a Federation naval rank of Admiral, an Imperial King no less, has landed in a ship worth over 100 million credits and is killing all your staff, while they look around for a 10 credit adhesive to glue an upgraded scope to their 100,000 credit assault rifle. They fly away with their super glue and you're left with a problem. How are you going to get your agricultural plant back up and running?
How am I going to get my plant up and running?
How are you going to find staff at short notice?
How am I going to find staff at short notice?
How are you going to deal with all those bodies?
There's bodies everywhere, and they've stained the carpet.
Wonder no longer. Call Aries Crime Scene Cleanup Services.
Hello, I'm Harry, for Harry's Mine. After a sudden increase in robberies and murders by commanders since 3307, I've gained valuable expertise in cleaning up bodies, recruiting new staff and restocking stationary lockers. Now you can benefit from my experience by signing up to our Crime Scene Cleanup Service subscription plan.
That's right. For only a small monthly fee, when your settlement alarms are activated, our rapid response cleanup crew will be dispatched, along with our patented Cadaver Scoop 150. The Cadaver Scoop 150 can be mounted to surface reconnaissance vehicles and skimmers to make tidying up your settlement a breeze.
Wow, the bodies are gone.
Our recruitment team has potential new employees on standby across the galaxy, ready to fill your vacant roles in security, logistics, administration, processing, and more.
My plant's operational again. Thanks, Aries Crime Scenes Cleanup Services.
Aries Crime Scene Cleanup Services. We'll have your settlement as good as new before the next ship arrives. Cadaver Scoop 150 disposal bags sold separately.
Lave Radio, broadcasting to every corner of the galaxy.
And welcome back. Well, we're going to touch on the in-game events which have happened this week. As usual at the moment, things seem to be a little lighter than we've been used to, but there has been plot developments. First of all, Aegis has won the community goal, as if there was a surprise. It managed to get quite a lot more than the that other system that shall not be named. And yes, so they have won the Titan materials for the Xeno Research community goals.
Just to clarify, though, Azimuth's campaign still completed, so it's still something that is happening. Because Azimuth were promising weapons, while Aegis were promising survivability. I believe, or researchy type stuff, as Aegis will want to do. So it wasn't. It one of those CGs where it wasn't like they were in direct competition with each other in the way that if one completed, whichever one completed first, the other one wouldn't get anything. Both of them completed, so they both got what they needed, but it's just making a note of the fact that Aegis got substantially more. More.
Yeah. I got a sneaking suspicion that some people were there going, well, okay, well, we've got Aegis over the line. I could really do with some more weapons, though. Better get Azimuth over the line as well.
So it was double the amount. It was a low intake of commanders anyway because of the nature of the.
Yeah.
I know you probably talked about this last week. I wasn't here last week. My apologies. Because of the nature of picking up the of what you have to do to pick up the things. It's very end gamey retrieval kind of stuff. It's not like one of those things like a brand new commander can't jump into it and go, hey, let's go and collect these, for which upset me slightly, because I feel like CG should be a good way to introduce folks to the more multiplayer experience to some extent of Elite, because power play is confusing, and it's a nice like entryway into the more multiplayer aspect. And if you're putting it behind this skill wall, behind this unlocking like a shit ton of things so you can so you can access it, it makes it problematic for newer players and for the whole player base to gain that experience. That said, twice as many individual commanders did stuff for Aegis rather than Azimuth, which I am so proud of, all of the commanders who did that. But I imagine there were quite a few commanders who, as you were saying, did some for Aegis, got them over the line, and then went, okay, we'll do some for Azimuth as well so we can play both and get the rewards from both.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, I had the problem with, I kept on getting glaved. Every time I tried to do anything for Aegis, basically my ship got cut to pieces with glaives, and the trick that Alec Turner was suggested that I did, either I didn't follow his instructions properly, or for some reason the glaives managed to hate me anyway. So yes.
It is tricky. I've got there's no doubt, and I wouldn't want to be a brand new commander, because I think a couple of times of a newer commander who's gone out of their way to get all of that stuff together to do the things that they need to do, a couple of times of just being mauled to death by glaives when you're not perfectly adequate in getting away or doing the things or doing all of those recommended movements. It's gonna put someone off doing it for a really long time. I just feel it was maybe a little bit misguided not to include power regulators or some kind of random commodity that people could also buy.
Yeah, but the main problem with that is, of course, is then nobody does.
True.
The difficult one. They all go for the easy option, and that's the problem. I don't mind one of these kind of really difficult ones. Ones with a high entry bar. I don't mind with one of these CGs once in a while. So once every, 3-4 months or something like that, which this one has been. It's if the next CG is going to be another one of the same difficulty, then I begin to feel, that is pushing people away.
I can appreciate that.
Yeah, because I mean, I know what you mean about the social side of the CG. Sometimes when you fly into a CG system, it's great to see the chat window flying with loads of people discussing it, and there's also the fun, well, inverted commas, fun of having to deal with any body who's just there for the easy kills. But yeah, I just feel that every once in a while you need one to say, yeah, this is for the people that have been playing a lot. for the more veteran commanders.
Fair enough.
Call me elitist.
No, absolutely not. And how about then something like this going? Oh, we want to receive these Titan materials in these systems, but then what about also like a protection mission as well? Like something running alongside which may in the future, if you ended up high, getting the rewards for that, you know.
Yeah, and I guess a sort of a
just
pirate
a little bit of bounty hunting, bounty hunting in the system.
In the system where you drop things off. Yes, I can understand that. Just something to get people involved, I suppose. But I don't know. It's just that sometimes I do feel that in order to get the plot along, or just you need a difficult one from time to time.
And it totally makes sense that if they need these Titan materials to make the research, it entirely makes sense. There's no I'm not arguing with that. It just left a little bit of a sour taste in my mouth because I knew people that wouldn't be able to. I always do that thing where I go, that I can do this, that's great, but can Katie do this? And I always look at the things that Katie can do and what she's able to do and what she's done so far in the game as a newer player, as someone who struggles with the things and doesn't like the whole like grind for unlocking stuff. And then if I feel like this isn't something that Kate will be able to do, I'm just kind of like, it's really annoying.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that, right, okay, this has been the difficult one. If the next one they do is just as difficult, then like I said, I'll be a bit,
yeah.
Yeah, but for once in a while, it's fine for myself. Ben.
Well, I mean, this boils down to, if you remember when the Titans first came in, I asked the CMs, okay, fine, we're getting this, and it's a bit of a ball ache to get to at the moment. It requires a wee amount of effort. Will the grind be getting less? And obviously they can't say, and they couldn't say. This is where, if for sake of argument, what I would have liked to have seen was, before this came about, you had the ability to maybe buy the modules you needed for a couple of million rather than for the grind.
Well,
or you could buy a light version of the module. And that would have allowed people to do it without having to go off and get all the engineering stuff that they needed, but they're paying credits for it.
You see,
and then more people could have done the CG.
You see, yeah, well, this is the thing, Ben. I mean, up to that point, I was actually with you because, well, when I found out what we were going to go into the Maelstrom, I was at the same point you are. I had to go and I thought, oh god, that means I've got to go into the caustic cloud and get the bits I need in order to get the caustic launcher, the caustic sinks in order to go to the next stage. Now, I was dreading that. I really was dreading it. I thought it was going to be an absolute ball ache. But then I found out, actually, it's really fun. And I was on the edge.
I would be with you on this, and if I had a spare 4 hours for a week or a weekend to actually go ahead and do it, I'd have tried to do what's required to get myself into there. I've had approximately 1 4-hour slot available to me since the Maelstroms came into being. And I know I'm not the only one. And yes, I'm going, wow, what about me?
Yeah, I can hear. I heard it in your voice.
Yeah. But that's why, you know, it's like, I do feel this should be inclusive.
The thing for
and
me,
I agree with what Psychic's saying about, can Katie do it?
I'm fine with it being exclusionary until they put like a community goal. I'm fine with the exclusionary nature of it. I'm fine with the fact that if you want to go and see it, you have to go and grind, and you have to go and do all of those things. But as soon as it becomes something that they're inviting all of the community to take part in, then that's when I have a problem with it.
Okay, quickly, Psycho Cow.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
I think one of the things with the CGs is that, it's usually stories involved with it and all that kind of thing. So it's kind of one of those things I tend to sort of not get too involved in unless I've been kind of caught up in the story and the run up to it. So an awful lot of the stuff kind of leaves me cold. But engineering left me cold for a while, and I'm wondering if they couldn't scope a CG where it was the grind, so you actually got rewarded for the grind. So rather than you needing to have done the grind and collected the bits and pieces, if the CGs led you through that, one, it would help direct you as a player who maybe is time poor and you only get on at the certain times and you haven't got that. Well, for example, today it took me hours to work out where to go. I couldn't find clear articles telling me where to go to pick up these missions, to go down and to see the sort of Thargoid skimmers and to get involved in that. So I had to spend an awful lot of time going round in circles, failing miserably and getting interdicted, hyperdicted and getting all that. And how difficult that stuff is awesome. I mean, I'm in a sort of AX build that I've paid bits and pieces for, haven't done much engineering, and it does just well enough to keep me alive long enough that I can get to the end results that I'm looking for. But if you don't have that time and you're in here to enjoy the game, it might be nice if a CG was a learning process for the greater few people out there to lead you through it, and then at the end result of that CG is that you then have collected what you need for the end results or for the prize that can then lead into the next one, as opposed to you've got to go away, research, find out what you've got to grind for, where you're going to go and get it, where you're going to get that engineering done, where you're going to get the module from, and then come and join the CG. Oh, it's finished. So it's that kind of disappointment when you haven't got the abundant. And I, somebody who had a massive abundance of time 3 years ago and could spend every hour of every day playing the game and thoroughly getting in there, and now I find myself in a situation where I get the odd day where I've got a lot of time when I can get stuck into it, and then I have an awful lot of days where I just don't want to fire up the game because of that complexity. The time investment you need to make in Elite to get a bit of joy back can be quite difficult if you've not got a group of friends to jump in with, because then it's instant. But if you're trying to achieve something, that grind can be off-putting. And I think if a CG led you or handheld you through a grind, that might actually be useful.
Interesting results there. Interesting thoughts, I think. You mean sort of doing a CG before you need something like a really easy CG to give you the materials to do a difficult one later?
Yeah, something like that where you can obviously it can be story linked and related. It doesn't have to just be here you go, you get the prize. It can be about a case of collecting stuff, and in that process you're actually doing the bit that you don't know how to do.
Chris, you've got some thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, Grant kind of covered a lot of what I was going to say there. I mean, something like a really cool chained mission that sort of tied into the Thargoid War, and by the end of it, you get given a couple of gubbins to get you started, would be great. If you did that and then you ended up with some caustic sinks, or you did whatever, and it put you slightly further on. I completely understand where they're coming from, and I understood the answers when the devs were on, when we had Sally and Arf on, and they said, well, how long do we keep it where people who have worked really, really hard to earn these modules exclusively have these modules because they've worked hard for them? Because you can imagine, Colin, you've just got yourself all set up with the new modules and you're working your way in there, and you just did it this weekend, and then on Monday an article appears in Galnet and it says they're available now for 100,000 credits at rescue ships, and then you'd be like, oh, I just spent the entire I've just worked the last 4 weekends getting these. So I absolutely get it from both sides. I mean, selfishly, I'm in the position where I'm sort of time poor when it comes to doing things. And also I'm starting off from a base level that's probably a lot lower down than it should be, because I've done a lot of the game and enjoyed a ton of the game without having to really do any engineering. And, I avoided it quite heavily, apart from maybe doing a bit of my frame shift drive, for example, but I've not really unlocked a lot of the other stuff that you need to run super cold or with a really good hull or with extra strong weapons so that you can defeat Thargoids. So I've got like a even longer hurdle to try and get myself in a position where I can even start getting the materials for the caustic sinks and pushing my way that way. And my worry, so this CG, I can kind of take the CG being something tied to the Titan. I think you've got to do content with it. You can't just have the Titan sitting there and not do anything. It seems like a wasted asset otherwise. Exactly. But my worry is that, okay, at what point do I need to really knuckle down and get this done? Because am I going to be massively locked out of a future piece of story? That's sort of my worry, is that I'm suddenly going to be, I can't enjoy any of the story now because it's now got to such a level that it's just going to seem unconquerable for me to get in there.
Yeah, I've got the same feeling, because that's the reason I'm doing the caustic cargo unlock, and I'm looking at that thinking, oh Lord, what have I got to do? But yeah, it's we've had a suggestion from Nothrilis. Oh, goodness sake. I mean, he sort of said, well, perhaps FDev could actually let you rent a suitable ship for this appropriate bit. I just got a horrible feeling that it'll be an adder again.
I quite like the idea of rent a ship. Yeah, I can see that working.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose if it'd be quite expensive, but you get it would give you access to the content.
Yeah.
But,
and the other thing that I would really like, especially for I would really like us to be able to rent storage either on a fleet carrier or on a base.
100%.
For those of us who don't have fleet carriers.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
I would
Especially
really like that as a feature.
Unlocking what's the Thargoid poison neutralizer
things or whatever they are.
Yeah, whichever one it is that needed an actual thing, 5 of an actual thing that you needed to hold on to. Elite is very much coming to the point where a fleet carrier is, for some of these things, a fleet carrier is a necessity rather than an optional.
Yeah, I am finding that, because there's when I was doing the caustic sinks, getting the last one, knowing that I had 4. Yeah, having 4 in there, and my hull was down to something like 12% and falling. That was a squeaky
and then, of course,
time
getting
for me.
Potentially interdicted on the way home as well, I'd imagine.
No, actually, surprisingly, when you're leaving Thargoid space, you don't get hyperdicted. It was just when we were jumping through systems. Yes, that's when they took an interest. They seem to let you go, they just don't let you coming in. Yeah. So, moving on from there, that was last Thursday when they announced who had not technically won, but who made the most out of their CG. How do you pronounce her name?
Sojourner.
Oh, so I was all actually right. Sojourner.
Yeah, it's So or Soa. I don't know 100% the pronunciation because I've heard it both ways, but Sojourner.
Well, she's been in contact with the Order of the Far God, trying to get information about the missing megaship, the Dedicant. Now, it turns out that most of the conversation that they had was guff.
Because they be crazy, yo.
Yes, yeah, pretty much. However, there was one slight possibility, and this got me excited a bit. Apparently, the interiors of Far God megaships are remodeled to make them deliberately confusing for heretics. Corridors are like insect tunnels, rooms turn to hive cells, that kind of thing. And when I told them the FIA, the Federal Intelligence Agency, had already examined the ship layout while it was in custody. One cultist argued they hadn't found the secret doors. They then went on to explain that that's how Theta 7 failed to get the hyperdrive working, because they were able to use these secret doors on the Sacrosanct to sabotage his work. Now, that got a lot of people excited on the forums, because that could mean megaship interiors combat.
Yeah, I thought like, you know that feeling when you're like, I don't want to get too excited about this tiny little bit of phrase, that this like throwaway comment that's in one article that could mean absolutely fuck all, but it could mean everything.
Couldn't it?
I was pretty much sat on the sofa or laying on my sofa for most of last week. Let me tell you how excited I got when I read this.
I know exactly the problem that we've got, because we have been here so many times, and one of the things of sort of they're thinking, oh, just imagine they've got these things all planned out. Then that means we'll be running around trying to, oh, fantastic, CZs on megaships. Why didn't anybody think of this before? And then you think, okay, we're getting away with ourselves again.
But
I don't want to hope.
But are we? Because it feels like a natural progression. Maybe not on a megaship, maybe in a Titan or something along those lines. It feels like your natural progression is going to be experiencing these winding tunnels of a Titan based on that information that they've said. I've got my hopes are held up. I am holding up those hopes.
You are holding up those hopes. I must admit, I am with you, but it's just my cynical little black heart is there going, oh, we've been here before. Oh, don't hope.
Do we not feel though? And again, I'm being the voice of happy optimism right now.
Unbridled optimism. Go on.
Do we not feel though, as of late, a lot of the clues have been there for the things that we are seeing now? And I'm going to knock on wood, but are things not, from the more recent updates and the things that they've added into the game, they have been relatively solid. One might argue that they have been relatively solid. And like, because every time there's been an update or even a patch or anything, we've all been right fucking plussed. Do you know what I mean? We're super happy. So
yeah, I've been involved in conversations on the forums. Let's not go there. It's a silly place. But along this kind of lines, because the people are they were complaining about the old features, and I was there saying, listen, they were complaining about the proper the issues that do happen with the Frontier War, and I'm just there going, compared to what's happened with the old features, this is really good. And you don't seem to realise how much of an improvement the Thargoid War has been over releases in the past. And it's the forums. You're wasting your typing.
Well, yeah, obviously, but it's I'm gonna hold on to that little glimmer of promise and be like, it also looking narratively, it's the natural progression of things as well. You're not, it's not wild and insane to think that that's going to be the move going forward.
Oh yeah, completely. It's just I don't dare to hope.
I'm not saying when it'll happen. It's probably going to be. I don't think when we're not looking at update 16, you know, but it might be something that we see next year.
Okay, I was thinking update 16
Absolutely,
or at least 17.
Not a chance.
You don't think you'll get any on foot activity on 16?
Maybe more stuff with your revenants and things like that. But if we're walking through Thargoidy corridors with all the moisture sounds and all of that, we're also going to be wanting to seeing actual Thargoids. And I think I think that needs to be something that is built up to more than where we are at the moment. We're getting a second hunter class.
Mm-hmm.
They come in. History dictates that they come in 4s. So I think we've got 2 more updates with 2 more hunter classes before we even think about that.
Well, there's going to be more to the next update than just a hunter class.
Well, yeah, there's definitely going to be more stuff, but I don't think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be the corridors that you're looking for.
No aliens.
Those are not the boys you're looking for.
Well, moving on from talking to mad religious zealots to talking to mad politicians, we have the presidential debate. Held a live debate, which I don't know. It sounds eerily familiar. We had Vice President Jerome Archer, Shadow President Felicia Winters, and entrepreneur Zachary Rackham all having a frantic exchange of views about what's going to happen in the election. And yes, let's just say mud was slung and some of it stuck. It's a politician debate. What more can you say?
I hate it. It's too real. It's like the uncanny valley of your mind, and I don't like it.
I know that's one thing you're looking at this thinking, life imitating art, or is
any
art
minute now
imitating
Rackham's
life?
going to say it's fake news, and then I'm out.
He'll demand everybody wears red flight helmets.
No.
Make Federation great again.
I was just going to say Matha.
There you go.
That doesn't even make sense. That's make America fake again.
Yeah, but you can't say MFGA, can you?
MFGA.
MFGA, yeah.
that really helpful acronym. MFGA.
I don't know. It sounds better than half of the others I've come across. Oh no, he's a
MFGA.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Yeah, isn't that late night Glaswegian? You motherfucker. Ah dear. I'm sure Grant can come up with some suggestions of what it could be. Not putting you on the spot. Anyway, it's that time of the week again, I think.
Store alert! In the bi-weekly newsletter, here come paint jobs for your art. In the bi-weekly newsletter, here come paint jobs for your art. A store alert, a store alert, a store alert, a store alert, a store alert. Which one will you buy? A store alert, 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 a store alert. Which one will you buy?
It's funny that Mike's alive. Well,
Wow.
Wow, I know. The Federal Corvette gets some love this week with the Vanguard series of paint jobs. Now, I'm not a fan of the Federal Corvette, but I must admit I am looking at these paint jobs and I'm thinking, I quite like them.
I've only just noticed the fact that it's got the little Celtic stuff on the back, and that's changed my opinion of them.
Oh.
Because I thought it was just the plain colours, and I like it. And not enough to buy it. I should clarify, not enough to buy it, but because I like the other.
You like
I like
the swirly bits on the back.
Yeah, I like the multiple other skins that I have for my Corvettes more. But they're not as boring as I first thought.
Not as boring as we first thought. Lovely.
That's also the tagline for Lave Radio.
Yeah, I think we have a show title.
We do.
Okay, well, there we go. So if you enjoy your Federal Corvette to look kind of different,
A little bit Celtic-y, maybe.
I don't know. I think the orange one looks a bit Rosinante, which
Sure.
yeah,
I'll take your word for it.
Okay, Ben, do you think it does?
Do I think it looks a little bit Rosinante?
Yeah, the
I can
top
see what
one.
you're getting at. The top one with it's the original Martian paint.
Yes, that's right.
I can see what you're getting at there. And that one, I don't know if those ones has it got slightly darker black bits at the back, maybe because the brass one is like purple and goldy bits at the back, isn't it? The Celtic bits are kind of golden.
Celtic bits in the back are actually they look as if they're made out of brass.
They might be actually. They might.
Yeah, you know,
I don't know.
That goldy color that's also called
I can't
brass.
see on the Vanguard Iron. I can't see the Celtic bits, but if it's there, it's very subtle in that photo.
Yeah.
I see what you're getting at. I have to admit, I thought Psychic was going to be super crazy excited about these because finally the Corvette was going to get some love. But then on first impression, she wasn't best impressed.
Didn't seem to be.
I'm still not super plussed or anything. Yeah. They're fine. They will
It's
do.
nice that the Corvette's getting some love, and we'll leave it there. Yeah.
Yeah, Yeah, I prefer this skin. I have the hepatizen, I think the pink and purpley one. I have it on the cutter. There's a cutter one that matches this, I believe, and I have that skin on that. It looks prettier on the cutter.
I've got like a swirly one on my cutter as well, I think.
Yeah, the cutter one's really, really nice. So, and this one isn't quite. I mean, they put the swirly things where there's space to put the swirly things because she's more slimline and she's got more going on in the nose. So there's more texture in the nose. So it would be more difficult for them to put something. I mean,
the Vanguard's
on
got
there.
a great big slit running up the middle as well, isn't it?
Yeah. So it's this particular skin does, but on the cutter.
Sorry, the Corvette I meant.
Yeah. On the cutter, it's because the nose is really smooth. It's got all that pretty sort of like Celtic-y knot style. The cutter looks like a Welsh spoon, and I think it's really cute.
The little Biggins saying that the Corvette's best one is the onion head job.
I don't. He uses that one all the time. I like the black skin, the Black Friday skin on the Corvette. I think that's really, really nice.
Is that just pure? Is that just plain black?
Yeah, plain black. But if you use like a bright coloured engine, so a green or a pink or a purple, something like that, with the Black Friday skin, the colours really pop and it looks cool.
Mm-hmm.
Midnight black, that's it.
Right. Well, we'll leave the Corvette behind for the moment. Right, Psychic, you weren't here last week when we were discussing. I know. I'm just letting people who didn't hear you last week. They will now be able to hear you because you have some opinions about the Frameshift Live that was released.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to catch up with it a little bit because I just thought it was. I thought it was really good. I thought it was a good show. I'm hoping that the rest of you were in agreement with that. But
you didn't listen to last week's show.
I don't listen to the show when I'm on the show, Colin. Thinking that I'm going to listen to shows that I'm not on. That's a joke, obviously. For legal reasons, I have to say that it's a joke.
Attention, we have someone digging her way through.
Anyway, I thought it was a really good show, and I thought it was I thought the reveal of the new glaive was really good. not the new glaive, the new hunter class. Let's call it what it's called. Let's call it the scythe.
Yeah, poor Max let that one slip.
I think, bless him, he thought he was being sneaky and clever, and he just wasn't. But I thought it was a really good show. I thought it was really informative, and it's made me again excited for update 16. 16, is that what we're on?
Yep. One thing that did surprise me was that how quickly update 16 was arriving, because I didn't expect anything really until November. I was expecting there'll be a couple of small changes. I was expecting them to be able to flip a few switches, and all of a sudden the Thargoids start expanding again, and that's going to be it. And of course, the glaive, now that it's in the game, it is a game changer when you're trying to do stuff. And I thought they were going to leave it at that, but it's I'm surprised that we're going to get it so soon. So that means, in my mind, update 16 August, update 17th November.
Potentially. Potentially. I don't want to count chickens, etc. But what was it? It was first week in August, wasn't it? They said it was gonna be. That's wild. Because we talked about it, and I wasn't it a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, didn't they say that the update was coming in August? And you all went, no, they didn't. They said that we'd have a date for you, and they were going to say when the next Frameshift Live was, and it was going to be later than that. And I was 100% certain they said it was going to be in August. So when they said it was the first week in August, I was shocked, because I was thinking it was going to be the end of August, as things normally are. But that's just really, really soon. And if we do get something in August, then November would be right as far as looking at the update 15. When did that come out? When was update 15? 2 months ago?
Yeah, about that. I mean, it works out that we'll be getting 15, 16 and 17 this year.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Good game though, to be fair.
If you, again, on the forums, if you believe people, oh dear.
If only they weren't updating it all the time, then we would fully be able to cement its place in the ground as a dead game. That's really that's really interesting that it's August, that and its potential for more updates November time, and then a lovely winter break. I saw Phoenix Blue saying there that he hopes that they hope that they're not working the development teams too hard.
They don't seem to be.
I think he might have been being sarcastic, but I'm not sure.
All right, fair enough.
I don't think that they were in this instance. I think they were very. I think it's important. I think Frontier are pretty good with their staff. I don't think they push them as hard.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, we had Tom, we had Max. They spilt the tea about most of the things about the glaive, which we were winding GN tracks about a lot over the last couple of weeks. Again, I apologise. It's so funny. He was almost ready to pop. Oh, but yeah. So it was nice to see that, and they seem to be grinning at how sadistic that blasted ship can be. Which, yeah, that was a bit difficult pill to take when I was trying to do the CG. I'll tell you. But yeah, I mean, as usual, Sally and Arf managed to hold it together reasonably well. Not too many fluffs. But, yeah.
The first half of the show was a little bit chaotic, a little bit like our
You're saying Lave
our
Radio
show.
levels of professionalism.
No. It was obviously it was better than Lave Radio levels of professionalism. That doesn't we're scraping the bottom of the barrel and we found the hole in the bottom of the barrel and we're hitting the ground underneath it. But yeah, it was a little bit fraught and chaotic, and that's fine. Sometimes it just has to be.
Yeah. Well, like I said, we've now got. It does seem to be one a month for the next few months until Christmas, and yep, we're probably looking at about the third week in every month. So.
So will we have like a fun Halloween update and then another, well, like a Halloween thing happen, and then another update on the back of that?
Well, what they're saying is that the one in October, which is I think about the 15th, they're saying this is the beginning of the Halloween season. So
love it.
Goodness knows what happens.
It's like Christmas. It's like Christmas, but more so because it's Halloween and it's better. Arguably, one might say.
Yeah,
Do you go duking for Thargoids? Is that what we do?
Yes, that's what the custard's for. We're gonna end up Thargoid bobbing. That's the way it will finish.
Oh, right. So that's what the new limpets are for, is it? Right. Okay. Thargoid bobbing.
Yeah, the new the limpets, the Thargoid limpets that the scythe has. Oh, that's going to be a tricky thing for me to say. The limpets that the scythe has are there purely for aesthetical purposes because they make good Halloween decorations.
So
they were green and orange, weren't they? It was a red. I'm just going to ignore that. God damn it! More Christmassy.
Is bobbing for Thargoid in the Thargoid custard? Is that what we're doing?
Heck yeah, it is.
There's your show title. Right. Now, while all this has been going on, we have had Ben in the background being experimented on as part of the research for our question of the week, which is the crew would like to know what is the most creative way you've been able to kill a player or NPC in Elite Dangerous. So let's check in with Ben. How many times have you been killed?
I've successfully been killed once by Chris, who actually was kind of reproducing one of my favorite scenes from when we were doing the Elite RPG.
Yes.
When we're doing the Elite RPG, there was a lovely scenario where I was in my Anaconda and the rest of the guys were basically trying to get away from security, and I couldn't shoot them, so I just started basically playing whack a security guard with my Anaconda in the docking bay. And Chris decided, and I successfully did the rolls and squished security, didn't squish our own guys, and everything was good. And Chris successfully and very happily managed to squish me with his Diamondback you got, isn't it, Chris?
Yeah. It turns out you cannot cargo scoop Ben.
Yeah, you can't cargo scoopable. No, I'm not scoopable, but I am squishable. Were you trying to squish me, or was that just a happy accident?
It was kind of a happy accident. I was trying to line up the cargo scoop because I thought that's where the cargo would jettison from. So I wanted to have it angled right to get you. But then I accidentally booped you with a several-ton ship.
Several-ton spaceship.
Several-ton spaceship. I mean, albeit the Diamondback is a small, dainty creature, it is a several-ton, small, dainty creature.
Yeah. So that worked as it did. I'm, by the way, for yourself, Arcade, and Siberius, I'm having to go to Turjack boarding site now because the taxi company won't actually take me where we were.
Oh, because you're notorious.
I'm notorious, so I had to go to prison.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
you'll have to come
squished.
here. I'm notorious because Arcade tried shooting packhounds at me at Lave Station, and somehow I'm the one who got a record.
I also need to. Sorry.
He's got a record for basically making a squishy mess on somebody's ship.
Well,
fighting him for making a mess.
What was beautiful about this was Lave Station basically started shooting down all of Arcade's packhounds, and
cool.
it did a hell of a job. That looked absolutely awesome. The sad news is none of his packhounds made it into the station. You know, if I was a civilian of Lave Station or whatever, I'd be very happy by this. But from our we want to make the world burn, I wanted to see a big missile go in and go boom. That didn't happen so well, though, unfortunately.
Wow.
But I was very impressed seeing Lave Station actually, its point defense cannons basically shot down all the packhounds, and that was awesome to see.
Excellent. I hope we got some good footage.
We tried. I don't know if we actually managed. It all got a bit chaotic as well.
Yes. And I've also got to apologise to Siberius, who did not get cargo scoop, but did get accidentally missiled when I was destroying my scrap that I'd left on the planet side. So genuine apologies to Siberius.
Well, if you've got any scrap left, Chris, feel free to try and drop some on me at Turjack boarding site now.
Turjack boarding site. I will see what I have got left. How much have I got left? I've got 4 tons left.
That's all you need. It only takes 1 ton.
Yeah, go drop them on Ben. See if we get any luck. Well, going through the list, we got Alec Turner. He performed an assassination mission by lobbing a Thargoid sensor at the guy, who was killed by its caustic effect. He's managed to kill himself by hurling his SRV into the air with his ship and then trying to catch it again, which he's actually supplied a video to it.
Yeah,
so,
I think he's got videos of both of these things going on. Alec Turner with his finger on the pulse and recording that footage for proof. Amazing.
Yeah. Get well soon, Alec. We hope to have you back soon. We've got Happy Moon Monkey. My first player kill was in the Odyssey Alpha with an electro-charge gun. I think we even acknowledged each other beforehand by crouching, and then they turned to a terminal, turning their back at me, and I thought, why not?
I get the distinct impression that this was an accidental one then. So he was just like, okay, let's nip up to this bloke. We've acknowledged each other. We're acknowledging that we are in the space, and now I'm just going to go, well, let's see if this does anything.
Oh, yeah. Well, I wonder if this massive electrical prod will do something.
Wild.
It's like I've got a screwdriver. I wonder what will happen if I put this screwdriver into a plug.
It's letting the intrusive thoughts win at that point.
Oh, dear. Commander Homburger tells us at 237 Aram has managed to kill guards by settlement doors, so the door stays open, and then they send a dumbfire in through the door to kill a technician. He's tried, but hasn't managed yet. I don't know, that's aiming womp rats, isn't it?
Something like that.
Gonna have to try that one. Elram retorts, how about running over NPCs indoors with the Scarab? Have you?
Yeah, that's got to be. That's got to have been a bug. That's got to have been. I've accidentally glitched myself in. Well, I guess we're killing everyone.
Well, Darren's actually claimed something. I haven't actually had a chance to see it.
It's a copy clip. It's something that he said or did or redeemed on an Unusual Cupcake stream that resulted in their unfortunate demise. And Darren is claiming that he was the manipulator of that particular occurrence.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough. I'll catch up with that one later, I guess. Spatula 007. I've explored almost every way you can rebuy, and I still think my favourite deaths are getting yeeted by the Coriolis station with the hammers. I think that's basically when the
noob
hammers
hammers.
The what?
It's the noob hammers on the big stations with the noob hammers on them.
The noob hammers. I thought it was the hammers of Slough trying to do their spinny thing.
Oh, it could be. I was assuming noob hammers.
I think it's the noob hammers.
Oh, right. So basically, they're just waiting for the noob hammer to come round and give them a good
whack 'em. Amazing.
Yep. I've only lost one. I've lost a T6 to the noob hammers when I was a noob. It's amazing. You're just flying along there going, I'm happy. What's this big thing moving towards me? Spang!
I've never done that. I've never ever done that, but I have lost I did lose a cutter to the back of my fleet carrier because I swear to God the fleet carrier came out of fucking nowhere and my cutter went straight into the back of it. And I think I'd just been doing a holding CG. So and I was in PG and I didn't have shields on and I went straight into the back of it. And I think there's a clip somewhere and I just go, oh no, as it happens, because I didn't realise it's so much rebuy.
We're going to have to ask one of the buckyballers to actually say, right, you've got to do something around the noob hammers. Just so that he can say, "Oh, nobody saw where that hammer came from," just as they were coming in for the final straight. Not that I'm being sadistic about planning out routes. And the other one was, oh yes, dropping bio-waste by his carrier, an NPC stealing it, and me trying to get it back with a hatchbreaker on his own carrier, which then proceeded to murder him.
With a hatch by his cat. Oh no!
Yeah, his own carrier shot him down. Is that actually allowed?
Yeah. Because your carrier doesn't recognize you as a person of any merit or anything along those lines. So because it doesn't recognize you, I wish there was a moment when you get to your carrier, instead of it just going hello commander, I wish it went hello captain or hello we've reserved your pad for you, or just something where it's acknowledging that you are in fact the owner of this particular fleet carrier. But it doesn't. So if you do anything nefarious around your own fleet carrier, they will kill you.
Yeah, I think so. Oh well, he's liquidated his shares then. I love this one from Macau for all seasons. I found a player AFK above Farsia. I shot at their drives, gave them a push, and down they went. Technically, the ground killed them, not me.
I mean,
that's like saying, "Oh, I pushed him off a building, but I'm not guilty."
The ground killed him. Ouch.
Yeah. We got Mad King Hasta. I was hanging out in an abandoned settlement in the Pleiades once collecting logs and shooting bugs. On this particular day, there just so happened to be a commander there doing the same thing, so I tried letting him jump his SRV into my Corvette. Well, a guide walked in at that exact moment in time, and the Thargoid weight caused my ship to slam into the ground at Mach Jesus speeds and crush said commander. Turns out he was a Hutton orbital trucker, and this was he was the target of a hide-and-seek manhunt event they were holding at the time. They sent me this, which actually is from Operation Ida, not the Hutton truckers, it looks like, which they were complaining that, yes, slap wrist.
That's amazing. That's amazing. The letter says, Dear Commander, in February 3305, we were made aware of an act of pure recklessness initiated on your behalf in the HR 1172 system. Reliable eyewitnesses have reported you using the Sidewinder of an esteemed member of Operation Ida as a landing pad. This, was clearly uncalled for. Furthermore, in your carrying out of this reckless maneuver, the Sidewinder was destroyed. Our legal team have advised us that this calls for further action. They believe a cease and desist order is necessary at this stage. However, after very little deliberation, the management have decided that this was an act that can only be classed as absolutely hilarious and is only worthy of mirth, merriment, and a small reward. I love that. I love it when people do stuff like that. It's great.
They believe a cease and desist letter. Well, let's hit them with a strong leaflet campaign then. Commander Guru 951. It was an accident, but I once killed a player by parking in the exact same spot at a Guardian ruin as another player who had exploded when he logged in. So there's you just land, and then all of a sudden, boom, all around you because someone logged in at exactly the same place. Ooh, instant sing.
That's wild. I didn't think that instant thing could work like that if you were in the same spot. Today I've learned.
Yeah. Safina only checks the creative parts since unintentional, and thankfully no deaths. But 3/4 into a year-long expedition, ships huddled together at a meetup. We fooled around in SLFs. I forgot to tell my cutter to stay in place. It followed me, bumping into more than one fragile explorer ship.
Oof.
Yeah, because your explorer ships are fragile. Yeah, Jarenstad. I think that would be the time when a bunch of scavengers occupying a settlement rushed in under my cutter on the landing pad, shooting at it. Then I promptly lifted off, retracted the landing gear, and came down crashing on them. That's basically a pancake splat, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's a more deliberate version of what Chris basically did to me.
Yeah. Valdiak said, did someone say ramming speed? Well, definitely not creative. It's still hilarious to do. It's even more fun when there are loads of other ships around you and you kind of need to dodge around them to hit your intended target at full boost speed. I know that's the last thing that I do. If I'm going to lose a one-on-one fight, I will line up with someone and boost straight into them.
Do you not? Maybe this is just me sucking again, but yeah, I know whenever I try and deliberately ram into somebody, I always wind up missing them.
Yes, you're sucking.
Okay. Yeah, that's a pepcac issue, mate. I'm sorry.
That's a me issue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got complained at by griefers who kept us saying, "Well, you damaged my ship. Well, you killed my ship. You still won, so stop your whinging."
It's the last hurrah. If I'm going down, I'm taking everyone with me.
I've got to do as much damage as I possibly can. Suck it. You've ruined my night so far, so I might as well just try and chip a bit off your ship. Oh dear. Web gear. I tricked an ARXX squadron ganker into shooting at me next to a fleet carrier. Flawless victory.
Nice, getting someone else's weapons to do the job. I like that. That appeals.
Yeah. No Pilthrius. Got to be the classic. Hit them when they're about to throw a grenade so they drop it in front of their own feet. Oh, I love it when they do that.
Chef's kiss. Or shoot the barrels next to them. Oh, chef's kiss.
I love that. They go, grenade. Oh, thanks for telling me. And then there's Wada Wushin 1 in 5. Everyone take a drink. I've got no idea.
Widdershins.
There you go. My bud used to accidentally fly his own ship and explode when piloting an SLF. It happened nearly every session. I used to watch, but by allowing it to continue, I guess I'm a bit culpable. Yeah, when your enemy is making a mistake, you don't interrupt them. But when your mates are, surely after the second or third time.
Nope, you record it every time and you create a montage video
100%.
every year and you send it to them every year. That's what friends do. Friends are not the people that are there to bend over and help pick you up. They're the ones that can't move for laughing.
Yeah, friends are the ones who, when their friends are at the top of a crashed Thargoid structure, and they've taken you to it for the very first time, and you've both driven up the side in your SRVs, and they suddenly drop out to go and take a picture of said thing. As they're taking the picture, you just very carefully just ram them off the side. I mean, and then you save the clip so that it's there forever of them calling you an utter bastard. I don't know. I'm speaking from experience there, 100%.
Who was it? I mean, I remember.
It was Kremen that I knocked off with that.
Count. There's one video I always remember where we were trying to meet up with somebody on a high G world, and there's you and me, and we're waiting for this person to arrive in a very, very flash clipper at the time, and they came in far too fast and just splatted all in front of us.
It was such a long journey for them as well. That was the bit. It was the first day that we could land on planets. And well, where are you? Right? Well, yeah, well, okay. I'm almost there. And I was like, I can't see you. And then it's like, I can see you. And they went down over the horizon. And then there was this almighty explosion. And then this debris flying up from this just over the hill. And yeah, I don't think I've ever laughed so much in my life. We'd been waiting for over half an hour on this freaking planet for that.
It was worth it, though.
Oh my goodness! It just friends are the kind of people that bet you a can of beer that you won't dive off the top of the Olympic dive board in a swimming pool, 100%. And then deny knowing you as you slowly float to the surface.
What do you mean? They tell you to dive off when there's no water in there.
Oh, no. Well, see, the interesting thing was, it was one of these places where you come in and then you go down 4 or 5 flights of stairs to the pool. And when you're at the top diving board, you're above the entrance. And that should really be a clue that it's a bad idea. And it's the kind of jump that you start to think, have I not hit the freaking water yet? Where the hell is it? And that's the point that you look down and then... yeah, then you feel pain, there's water dripping off the clocks, there's people fully dressed up at the entrance, not very happy because they're soaked. And yeah, your friends are already out the pool and in the shower, just...
No, don't know him.
Leaving you to it.
Yes.
Yeah. Incredible. I didn't even get my beer.
Yeah. So thank you, everybody who has put in these creative suggestions, which I think we'll have to come up with the own Lave Radio Darwin Award for some of these.
I reckon, what do you reckon, a top 10 list?
Yeah, definitely. Top 10 list.
Does it have to be killing other players? Because I don't tend to ever... I mean, it really isn't accidentally killing other players. I'll aim at somebody and for some reason I've got my my firing gun ordered to be rocket launcher first, and you go for the quick fire and you blow everybody up. But I think I've enjoyed things like being dropped by a dropship literally in orbit, and sort of staring at the settlement, getting closer and closer as I plummet through the atmosphere. That was fun. Jumping into geysers and getting blown up that high as well. So I'm really, really good at getting myself killed, but I don't think that really counts, does it?
Yeah, well, maybe we need a kind of generic session, more like a Lave Radio Dumb Ways to Die.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we're people who send us your videos of dumb ways that people you know or yourself have expired, and we will rate them.
We will, on our podcast, we will rate your videos. Yes, definitely. Great idea, Colin.
Dear. Or we will recommend people to view them. That's that. Right, shout-outs then, I guess. Our sister station, Hutton Orbital Radio 8, broadcasts on a Thursday from 8:30. You can tune in at twitch.tv Hutton Orbital Truckers, or if you just want the audio, go to radio.forthemug.com. Just as a side note, I'd just like to say Vintian over there at Hunt Orbital Truckers. His tribute to Michael Brooks was very moving. I thought he managed to articulate exactly how a lot of us was feeling, but unable to put it into words. I thought that was wonderful. For the discerning commander that likes a bit of CQC action, check out the CQC Discord at discord.me/Elite Dangerous CQC. Oh, and help with the problem that they've got on the issue tracker as well, if you can. We're also giving shout-outs to the other couple of Elite Dangerous podcasts. That's hello to the Guard Frequency, and of course hello to the Loose Screws as well. Following this, we do have the latest Galnet News Digest, that's provided by Commander Witherspoon and Commander Beetlejude. And we'd just like to thank everybody who's chipped in on the Twitch chat, and also everyone who's tried to kill Ben. Has there been a lot of people trying to kill you, Ben?
I know a few. Are we talking about in-game or real life?
If we're talking about in-game, I've been joined by Siberius and Arcade. Arcade, neither of them managed to kill us. The only person who did kill me was our co-host, Mr. Turner.
Hello.
So yeah, that shows you who your friends are, doesn't it?
Wintermute GB has suggested that this category that this section that we're going to call it is called the Lave Grave Awards. That's fantastic. Right. Well, special thanks, of course, go to Commander Tokoso, JN Trax, and Alan Stroud, who have all created music for the show. But that's it for another episode of Lave Radio. If you'd like to get in touch with the show, you can find us in the contact links at home/contact us at our website. Do let us know if you've got any questions or if there's anything you'd like us to discuss in a future episode. We'll probably be coming out with a question of the week over the weekend, which you can all join in. Lave Radio is recorded live on a Tuesday evening at 8:30 and streamed out at laveradio.com/live. So, thanks to Grant.
Thank you.
This is where you say thank you, Grant.
Yeah, he's not used to the. Yeah, he's not used to the new format. I forgot.
It's been a while, and yeah, it sounds awfully nice.
It's called politeness, Grant. We've tried to.
Yeah, we fail all the time.
On a Scottish podcast? Are you kidding me on? I remember being told in my training course for work that if you were sworn at by a customer, you could down tools and refuse to work there. And I said, I work in Glasgow. That's how you get greeted at the door.
Yes, I know that.
Thank you. Editors can clear all that crap out. Thank you.
Right, and thanks to Ben.
Smeg off, Colin, you twat.
Wow.
Are we just going to go for the full on? We might as well do. Go on, Psychic.
Thanks, guys.
Oh, Psychic's not Scottish, so
legitimately, if I'm gonna call you all names, I'll do it behind your back, not to your face.
Oh well, yeah.
No, actually, wait, that's the other way around.
That's the other way around.
I do it enough anyway. It would be disingenuous of me to do it at the end of a show. Are we going to start soon?
Yeah, it's just been the war.
I'm getting flashbacks to last night now, Si.
And of course, thanks very much to the Chris Mark 4.
Thanks, Grant. We say thanks, Grant, at the end.
Awesome.
Thanks, Grant.
You're very welcome. Yeah, no problem.
Thank you, Grant. Thank you, Grant.
And of course, special thanks goes to today's tech specialist, Commander Ventura.
You're welcome. Thanks, Grant.
So until next time, Commanders, fly safe. And if you can't do that, thank Grant.
Is your life like this? Sounds like someone having an orange inserted. Need a safe word.
Space can be loaded.
I'm going to see the galaxy.
Ah, damn it. No worries, guys. Hold the fort for 2 seconds. I'll be right back.
Galnet News Digest, 27th of June 3309. We read the news so you don't have to. Looking back on May's and June's news, by far the biggest story has been the progress made by Aegis to get pilots into the heart of the maelstroms and to return safely with tissue samples. There were other stories too. We became able to fight back in the Thargoid-occupied ground bases. There's a new Hunter-class Thargoid. The federal election grinds interminably on. And an awful lot of Thargoid cult members have vanished.
At the beginning of May, we knew little about the Thargoid maelstroms, other than that they appeared to be driving the Thargoid invasion of the bubble that started in December last year. Seojin A, now working with Aegis, explained that the Thargoids had invaded for a very specific purpose, following the genocide attempted on them by Azimuth Scientist Salvation in August 3308. She could not say what the purpose was, but they seemed to be trying to take over the bubble, starting at the 8 maelstrom clouds and working outwards. Those fighting the invasion gradually worked out that the best tactic was to prevent the Thargoids from invading populated systems by making them feel unwelcome in every system that they started investigating. The number of systems controlled by Thargoids seems to have peaked, but nonetheless they continue to hold more than 1,000 systems, 160 of which were previously the home to a human population. The newly reformed Aegis believed that the key to understanding the invasion must be those 8 maelstroms, and they spent the last few months developing the technology to get to the heart of the maelstroms and to conduct scientific fieldwork. Caustic sink launchers, which prevent ships from melting in the caustic Thargoid gases, have been available since March, but it wasn't until May that Aegis developed the Thargoid pulse neutralizer that meant that ships could get to the eye of the maelstroms. Once again, Seojin A warned that the Thargoids could detect our imminent arrival, and were preparing new lines of defence against us. Around the 10th of May, reports began to emerge of sightings of the much-anticipated Titan motherships inside the maelstroms. The maelstrom environment appears to be a passive defence surrounding the mothership or hive ship, and the Titans appear to contain a portal to another dimension, allowing Thargoid vessels, such as interceptors and the new Glaive hunters, to teleport to the system. More prosaically, the apparent portals may simply be entries to the Thargoid docking bay. Professor Albert Tesreau sent a message to all pilots, thanking them for their work and looking to the future.
Now we have positively identified the capital ships directing the alien invasion fleets, Aegis can develop ways to disrupt them. It has always been my belief that Aegis is a science initiative first, and a military research program second. I admit to having a personal dream of true communication with the Thargoids, But the past few months suggest that the Thargoids are sadly uninterested in opening a dialogue with humanity. We owe the billions of civilians displaced from their homes a promise to secure their future.
The next Aegis project was to develop a pulse wave xenoscanner, a hybrid between the pulse wave scanner used when mining and the xenoscanner used to analyse Thargoid interceptors and scouts. This new device can scan the Titan motherships, identifying areas that can be investigated using research limpets, or that can have materials blasted off with a laser or an abrasion blaster. In mid-June, Azimuth Biochemicals, recently driven out of the One Drama system, realised it was missing out on all the work its rival Aegis had been doing. It put out an appeal at the same time as Aegis's appeal for research samples from the Titans. Pilots who, this time last year, were working with Azimuth returned in large numbers to help the Aegis initiative. Both Aegis and Azimuth collected a reasonable haul of Titan samples, and we await whatever developments may result.
First identified in the eye of the Maelstroms, the Glaive Hunter-class Thargoid ship has become a significant hazard to shipping. The Glaives are playing their part in the hyperdiction and interdiction of ships passing through Thargoid space. Unlike the other Thargoid ships, the Glaives cannot be outrun, making them far more deadly. They also have technology to prevent hyperspace jumps, the alien Grom Bomb, and to force modules to reboot. The options available to those hyperdicted are to go very, very cold and hope the Thargoid doesn't notice, or to stand and fight. When confronted by a Glaive, brave Sir Robin does not live to fight another day. The other new Thargoid device is the apparently automated Revenant drones that were found to be guarding abandoned settlements in Thargoid control systems. These skimmer-like devices shoot at anyone foolish or careless enough to come within their cone of seeing. They also throw sticky bombs, which is not terribly nice. For those who prefer not to fight the Revenants, it's normally relatively easy to sneak in and out of buildings while the Thargoids are looking the other way. Missions can be picked up in adjacent systems that are under invasion, and benefit both the system where you get the mission and the system you need to travel to.
President Zachary Hudson is not standing for re-election. Imagine the outcry there will be if he manages to find some devious way to cling on to power. But his potential successors are not all that enticing either. There's multi-trillionaire Zachary Rackham, who allegedly made his fortune as a pirate before settling down to life as a businessman. Rackham believes in zero taxes for all, and that every single citizen of the Federation can be just like him. His platform, therefore, is one of bankrupting the Federation. Slimy Toad Jerome Archer, the successor as Hudson's deputy to Brad Mitchell, who was killed by the 9 Martyrs bombings, is the architect of the Proactive Detection Bureau, the federal government's Snoopers Charter. He has been responsible for the loss of several dozen star systems that chose to leave the Federation rather than put up with being spied on. The PDB specialises in arresting criminals before they have committed any crimes, which puts them way above the law. The only likely winner, if we discount would-be write-in candidate LCU No Fool Like One, is Shadow President Felicia Winters. As leader of the Liberal Party, she believes that the Federation should help out its independent neighbours in driving out the Thargoids, that business should be regulated, but that the people should be trusted, and that a small tax rise will help pay for better services and security for the Federation's citizens. The election will be held in August. Meanwhile, in Imperial space, the only news is that the Emperor remains torn between her isolationist stance and the Empire working with Aegis to drive the Thargoids back. The Emperor accepted Princess Aisling's argument that this was one occasion where the Empire could not go it alone. Hadrian Duval, the arch-isolationist, has criticised the Emperor for this lapse in the Empire's total isolation. And the Emperor has in turn explained to Hadrian that she does not take criticism gladly, and that if he wishes to retain the use of his head, he would be wise to keep his seditious thoughts to himself.
In June, the Order of the Fire God came back into the headlines. The Order is outlawed in the Federation, and several tens of thousands of cult members have been clogging up the Federation's penal organs for some months. The Alliance kindly offered to take in the cult members, and it was while the more extreme True Chapter's cultists were being prepared for transfer to the Alliance on board their confiscated megaship the Dedicant, that the cult members decided to confiscate the megaship back and run away with it. Their whereabouts, and the whereabouts of the Federal Guards who failed rather spectacularly in their guarding duties, are currently unknown. However, we have recently learned that the Fargoid megaships contain a warren of secret passages, so it may not have been all that hard for them to take their guards by surprise. Where does this leave us all? We continue to fight back the Thargoids. We're waiting to see what Aegis and Azimuth come up with now that they have their Titan tissue samplers. We're awaiting the outcome of the federal election in August, with all the excitement it deserves. We're waiting to see what the True Chapters do next, and indeed whether they'll reveal themselves. And we're waiting to see whether Salvation really did survive his death, to become an evil, disembodied intelligence, relying on Guardian technology for his existence. We are waiting.
And that's May's and June's Galnet News. Galnet News, we read the news so you don't have to.
Lave Radio, Lave Radio, Lave Radio, Lave Radio. Listen to Day-Dio. Dangerous podcast. It's the elite. Lave Radio, so much to say, Dio. This side of Diso, we're loving the heat. I hope someone knows what we're talking about. They mean disco. Lave Radio, it's here to stay, Dio. Orange Sidewinder, this is your crew. Lave Radio, hey, 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 Dio. With second technician, Forrester 2. Ooh, Scump. It's a podcast that's based on a game. Not to listen would be such a shame. It makes other stations sound very lame. That's Lave Radio. Ooh, swing your pants. No, Simon, we're not them. We're pink custard. We cut the mustard. We're never flustered. We can't be trusted. Lave Radio, this song's for you. For the Orange Sidewinder crew. Elite Dangerous is what you do. And then you talk a lot about it too. Lave Radio, ready to play, Dio. Search for their website and off you go. Lave Radio, nothing to pay, Dio. Sci-fi gamer, DJ fans, this is your show. Oh, it's a niche audience then. This is radio online called Lave. With DJs Chris's, Alan, John, but not Dave. Forever serving internet.